What are we calling the show this year?
This is the Patriots Pregame Show, presented by Dunkin.
Patriots Chinwag, Patriots Before the Game Show.
Jones, he's throwing it towards Thornton, left corner of the end zone, caught, touchdown New England.
Hey, it's the Patriots.
The Patriots Pregame Show is your source for all the latest news and information before every game.
He tucked into the house again.
There we
and
go.
The Patriots take the lead.
With Hardy,
What do you mean you haven't been to McDonald's in 20 years?
Mike Dussault,
My favorite part of this key, though, is that it's actually a key to nothing. Because
Right.
It's
It's
not even beveled.
Paul Perillo,
Fred just texted me 1:24 a.m. with a question.
and Tamara Brown.
We need to talk about all the ways we want Tamara to change in 2024.
Oh, wow.
Don't you?
So,
Patriots Nation, welcome to the Patriots Pregame Show, presented by Dunkin.
did everyone bring their list of things we would like Tamara to do differently in the new year?
Yeah, it's a very short list. It's nothing, Tamara. Just be you.
I love that.
Okay, I guess I'll start then. Tamara.
Deuce is my favorite person, officially.
Welcome into the Patriots Pregame Show, fueled by Dunkin. Final game of the year. Patriots host the Jets today at a very snowy, wet, cold, disgusting day in Foxborough. How was everybody getting in here today? Everybody okay?
It was a dream. I rolled right in. There was no traffic or anything. I got here in like 8 minutes. It was surprisingly easy peasy. A little bit of a walk, though, from out in Spooky World. That was a little wet and gross, but hey, we're here.
Traffic-wise, there was nothing. There was absolutely nothing coming in here today. It was just, like you said, the walk-in, and I did encounter a few people tailgating already. I'm like, why?
Those are the diehard fans.
Why?
Those are the diehard fans.
You encountered a tailgater?
Yeah.
There was not a single
Several.
person in the parking lot, and I got here about a half hour, 40 minutes before you.
I saw two.
Not one person I saw on my walk across.
No,
Wow.
my favorite thing with this
This
drive-in
is gonna
too
be
is
bad.
You see some of them, but it's like the clothing choices that people have made today. Like there's, like I saw a guy in just jeans and a jersey and maybe like a sweatshirt
it's-
underneath
and
it.
the
Like they
snow
don't
is so
even
wet.
care.
The snow is so wet.
Like,
you're
7
gonna
hours
get,
to go. I'm sure you'll be fine.
Bro, you're going to get cold. You're going to catch a cold.
I guess
got
they
it.
feel that, once they drink enough alcohol, that'll give them a nice coat.
Right.
Facts.
So they don't need a coat.
It offsets
Facts.
the hypothermia that will set in inevitably in the middle of the game when that cold front moves in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, did anybody have to shovel or anything to get out today? Paul, you got more snow up by you.
I did not have to shovel to get out. No.
How did he? I thought he was in the
I thought it was
jackpot. I
big,
thought he was
too.
going to get a honey potted
No,
up there.
no
honey pot
No.
up
no,
there.
I think it's more like
Further west?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I shoveled just because.
I got more than here, but not like maybe 2 or 3 inches.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did just because it's going to be wet and it's probably going to freeze this afternoon, so you got to get rid of some of it.
My thought.
That's what TJs are for.
Yeah. I don't have a TJ yet. About a year away from that.
Well, I could ask both, and that my kids would do it, but Calvin is sick, so he's been under the weather for a couple of days. I wouldn't force him to do it, and if I'm just asking the girl, well, Katie is wonderful. She's a great kid. She's not doing it. I just know.
Absolutely not.
There are
Wet
plenty of
snow?
other things, but I mean, there's just
Absolutely not.
her going out there. There would be so much conversation about it between me and her, or her and her mother, that it's like at that point just be done with
It's
it.
not even worth the effort.
No,
Right. You'd
no.
rather just go do yourself.
Yeah, she could be a lawyer. I mean, she would absolutely. And she's not fresh about it. She's like, I just wonder if, she poses things in a very thoughtful manner. I
She
wonder.
sounds
if,
like a funny girl.
she's a hoot.
I wonder who she gets it from.
There's got to be a progressive commercial in there though about turning into your parents and
good
our
stuff.
thoughts about shoveling and the best time to get it up.
Oh.
Yeah, well, the sun's going to hit this later, and
I know, and my neighbor's like construction blue collar guy, and he always just waits till it's all done, and then he just all does it at once. And I don't know, I like to kind of progressively do it, and I always feel like I'm being judged by a real man next door. Why are you doing it now? That's ridiculous.
right.
Maybe I'm not one of those progressive parents then. I don't give it any thought at all.
You
I
just
just make sure I get it done. Whenever.
you do it once. What about a big
Sometimes.
storm?
Depends.
I
Yeah, if it's a big enough storm, you need the snow blower. I usually wait till the end.
I think about it nonstop. I think Deuce and I are
Me
alike.
too.
It's like I gave that a lot of thought this morning.
I was out there this
Look
morning.
at you guys.
Yeah, I know.
Getting it done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Dad's
Getting
just
it
like,
done.
Whatever. It'll work itself out.
Well, that's obviously
melt.
the most important
Sun's
topic of
coming soon.
conversation. Yeah, on this particular pregame show, there have been reports. There are reports. There continue to be reports about whether or not this will in fact be Bill Belichick's last game as head coach of the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
Deuce, you want to give us your thoughts initially here. Diana Rossini had something. There was a couple other just little, nothing new this morning that I saw, unless you've seen something, but mostly just kind of reiterating what we're already hearing.
Yeah, I would just sum it up by saying it feels like everybody thinks that it's kind of over, but nobody knows for sure, including, people talking. I forget who wrote, just nobody knows what's going on within the building. I'm blanking on who had that initial report of everybody's just, it's business as usual around here, which is what it seemed like, except for, Bill getting sick at the end of the week. But I don't know. Right now, the tea leaves, everybody sounds like we think this is it. We don't know exactly. There's obviously been a bunch of stuff about Mike Vrabel too being kind of circulated about what might his future be in Tennessee. So it's all going to happen quick over the next couple of days. We'll start getting some real answers. But it seems like right now everybody's kind of expecting this might be it.
Yeah. What do you think, Tamara? Is this it?
I think this is it, especially if the reports of, like you said, the reports that we've seen this week, especially the one about him wanting to keep Patricia as OC, that was very confusing to me. And just reading that long article by Andrew Callahan, and I forgot who the other person was, but reading that article, it's like if those things in that article are true, it's all adding up to someone who no longer has the support of like his team and his support staff. Everything is just derailing from that article. And some things were just really eyebrow raising. And so I think that it's just time for a fresh start.
Is this it, Paul?
Yeah, I think my feeling hasn't really changed over the course of the season. Once it was apparent, I'd say Saints game, once it was apparent where the season was going, I felt like a change was coming.
All right. Let's get to our keys to the game. We're going to go behind enemy lines here in just a little while.
Why did you leave the keys up on the table? You wanted to. You've waited all week for it.
The whole team's in the locker room right now, just listening to this, waiting to hear what you're going to say.
Without these keys, the Patriots are destined and doomed to fail.
Here are Hardy, Paul, Mike, and Tamara's keys to the game.
Why did I steal your key to the game also?
There have been some unworthy key holders throughout this season.
None more so than last week's.
None more so than last week. I don't know. I don't know. I forget who gave it away. Was it our friend down in North Carolina? One of our friends in North Carolina?
Yeah.
Somebody really smart who knows football.
So Pat Nagwam, who is listening on hold, is that how this thing works? Okay, Pat, you will be the key decider here for this final key to be given out. Week 18, Patriots, Jets. Deuce, since you are the current key holder, you go first. What is the key to the game today?
Mine's most turnovers loses. Two teams, Patriots, the Jets tied for league, like 31, 32 turnovers. Patriots not too far behind. I think they have 27. It's a kind of a wet, sloppy day. It's a little cold. I think really boil it down, what we've seen from this Patriots team and this Jets team all year long, it's just about turnovers and who wins that kind of battle, who's going to be secure with the ball in these kind of conditions. So I just think whoever has the most turnovers is probably going to lose this game, so hold on to the ball, and you probably got a good chance to win. Period.
Great. Really dynamite stuff.
Thanks.
Literally looking at all
Why don't
four
you
of
just
these.
give it to him now?
Yeah, seriously. Pat, if you want to give it to Deuce, I don't even know what constitutes a good key anymore. Tamara,
I'm
what's yours?
just laughing looking at all of our keys on this paper because I feel like the last couple of weeks we've had some really interesting keys based off of certain themes and stuff. And you look at these and it's just comical.
Well, yeah.
Here we are, and here we are.
And here we are.
I don't want
So
to spoil
this is what
it,
happens. All right, so what's your key?
Mine is have a pulse. I mean, similar to what Deuce said, this is a Jets team who turns the football over a lot. They also give up a bunch of sacks. They've also have ineffective quarterback problems, where they've just been rotating quarterbacks. Obviously, the Patriots have their own issues. But offensively, no team has scored less offensive touchdowns than them. All you have to do is have a pulse. Don't turn the ball over.
Coincidentally, was the only prerequisite on my application to Michigan State in 1989. Have a pulse.
Just have a pulse and you can win this game. Yeah. I think this is a team, too, where it's they're offensively, they do have weapons. But Breece Hall, you've already seen what this defense can do, the Patriots can do. They can shut down the run. So if they're trying to lean on him today, especially in these conditions, I think the Patriots have the upper hand. So just have a pulse. Do what you've been already doing. Don't turn the ball over. Don't suck.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can win the game.
Don't suck.
Paul?
Yeah, there's a typo in mine. It's not avoid overtime. It's avoid overtime. It's one word. I don't want to be here any longer than I need to be today. I don't think the game really has much of anything in terms of any meaning in a meaningful way. I'm not a huge they got to lose this game for the draft. Yeah, they'll figure out when the games are all over today. They'll tell you where the Patriots are drafting. You know, it might be 2, it might be 5, it might be somewhere in between. But
3,
I'm not
4
overly
even.
interested in that. Just like get the game over today. Everybody stay healthy, and try to do it without having to go to overtime.
Yeah, well, I mean, to that end, I would say for my key today, don't make it obvious. Don't if you have decided that you really don't want to win this thing, you want to have a chance at the number 2 overall pick. Don't make it obvious. Bill, I would say don't make it obvious that moving on from you is the absolute best choice either. Don't go out there and do anything that is going to tarnish things even more than maybe perhaps they've already been tarnished. And even to myself, don't make it obvious that this is most likely your last pre- and post-game show and you just want to get the hell out of here. Let's not make it obvious here today, guys, okay? Let's do
by
good work
coming 3 minutes before the show
He just,
started?
across
he just
the
broke
board.
news.
No.
He just broke news right there.
I don't know. I haven't been offered the job again, and I don't
told
know.
you have been offered the job for life.
These are our keys. From Deuce, most turnovers loses. That's not even a key.
I'm telling you, these keys this week are just very funny compared to
Subtext.
previous
You
weeks.
have to think about my
Tamara
key.
says, have a pulse. Paul says, avoid over.
Time.
And then time.
Yeah, see,
And
you're
mine-
right. That's what it says.
and
It's not
mine-
what I. That's not what I wrote, but that's what it is. What it says.
And mine is don't make it obvious. So, Pat in Agawam, who has the best key this week? Who will retain the key not only for the rest of the day, but for the entire off season?
All right, I'm going to give it to you guys. And I also want to, give you my crazy conspiracy theory afterwards.
Okay.
Artie, I kind of want to give it to you because I don't know if you're going to be back, but I'm purposely not going to give it to you. So you will come back next year, and,
Nice.
you can win it.
No key for you.
Deuce, you great logic, but I have to give it to Paul because I don't
Oh.
either.
But his says don't to avoid over.
Time.
Time.
You know, it's over time. Things happen.
So
over a period of time.
Okay, well, you know, in,
Right.
that, in,
Right?
that,
Oh.
in that case, give it to him. All right,
Oh,
good
can
job,
we
Paul.
play
Thank
some
you.
pomp and
Thank you very
circumstance
much.
song for
Thank
the-
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Where's our?
Yeah, our
do we have a
regal,
theme song? Where's
the-
where's our presentation
key,
music, Matt?
Nothing.
key presentation music.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
So I am more interested, cousin Patty, in the.
there it is.
I'm more interested in the
Right on cue.
conspiracy theory.
It's a great
Pull
show.
off today.
So here's my conspiracy theory.
All right.
I do believe, in some form or fashion, Bill Belichick's coming back next year. And here's why. I
Okay.
mean, it's a completely absurd conspiracy theory. But if you go on Game Time, you can get tickets for this game for $25, $35. And I think if this was truly Belichick's last game, I think
Oh, Pat,
Yeah.
we're losing you. You're breaking up. Plus,
That's
we have
bad logic.
we have our guest in studio. I didn't even know Antoine was going to be in studio today, so let's get to it.
You know the view from New England,
We go behind enemy lines.
but what about the view from the other side?
And that's why you're our favorite pregame show guest
Yeah.
every year.
You guys know you tell everybody that.
Oh, yeah?
I was on with you guys in 2018 Thursday Night Football.
Yep.
And I was told I was the favorite guest of the show.
Nope. No.
Time now to go behind enemy lines.
My God, it's coming right for us!
Joining us in studio, our favorite of all behind the enemy lines guests when they're in studio. Hey,
We
Antoine,
love when they're in studio.
Well, we love you when you're in studio.
Antoine, have a donut.
I'll have one after we get done.
Okay. Antoine Staley from the New York Daily News. Thank you so much for being with us. Hardy, that's Mike, Tamara, Paul.
I actually know you guys, so yeah.
Have you
I've
been
watched
with us before?
I have not, but
Oh.
I've seen the pregame and also listened to it as well.
Oh boy.
so.
All right.
Oh boy.
Well,
How's that working? out for you?
Nothing good can ever start with that comment.
I know who you guys are.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
no,
know
it's-
what you
it's-
said.
it's-
I
mean
know.
that-
I know what you said.
I mean that as a compliment.
All
actually.
right.
So when Bill Belichick says that, that's not good.
Oh well, he says it. No, it's
No.
absolutely. You're absolutely
The
correct.
last time he said it to me was like 2003. In fairness, so
there
we've
you
been
go.
all right.
There you go. Well,
Also, wait, can we talk about how he has on a Charlotte Hornets hat?
I'm from North Carolina originally. If you can
Okay.
hear the southern twang,
there you go. There you
Not
go.
at all. What part?
Winston-Salem.
Okay. We don't know anyone in Winston-Salem. We
No.
get
That's
calls from
that's
Raleigh,
like Wake territory,
Charlotte.
right?
Yes,
Wake
Wake
Forest.
Forest is in Winston-Salem. Yes, that's
Okay.
correct.
Good
I have
job,
I
Paul.
have people in Durham. But
You have people?
I have people. That's a North Carolina.
You're like Don
that
Draper.
is
He
a-
has no people.
That is
Your kin?
a Southern expression. People.
Yeah,
My people are there.
I grew up about 80 miles from Durham, so that
Okay.
put that in perspective.
All right, good.
And this is what you get when you come down in studio with us.
Right.
You get to
Exactly.
talk. You get to talk nonsense.
That's why I was like, yeah, that's why it would be better. So, yeah, I'm not going to do it on the phone. I'm used to do it in person.
We're not going to break down
No.
this game X's and O's. Why?
No.
but
My sister has been
So-
in Durham about 20 years now, and after she's there about 6 months, she called me up one day. She said, "So, do you know what the plural of y'all is?" I said, "No." She said, "All y'all."
Oh, wow.
It's not y'all's.
Oh, it's all
It's
y'all.
all y'all.
Like, oh.
I just use y'all. So, yeah, I don't-
Yeah, oh, you use. You know what? I'll tell her she was wrong, or it's changed.
Wait, before we get serious, do you like Bojangles?
Yes, I do. I do. Like, Bojangles is staple of North Carolina. That and Krispy Kreme.
oh, Krispy Kreme.
Although
I have nothing.
I have nothing against Dunkin.
Oh, no, you
It's
should.
Also, I know where I am.
No offense.
So, but yeah, Krispy Kreme is a staple. It's also from North Carolina staple. So
Wow.
yeah,
It's
nice.
They're warm.
Whenever I come down south, I like my first stop is Bojangles.
Bojangles is legit.
Cookout. Also, Krispy Kreme as well.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll jump us into the real. So, it's going, what's the state of mind of the Jets today coming up here in the weather? And I mean, are they ready to come in here and try to break the 15-game winning streak by the Patriots?
Yeah, I think they have a good mindset. They understand that this has been a disappointing season, but to try to cap it off, at least have something positive to take into the off season by ending a dreaded long losing streak to the Patriots. I mean, they could feel good about themselves. I mean, let's be real. Like last year was definitely a disappointment for Robert Saleh and company. That's why they ended up going out getting Aaron Rodgers and trying to change this whole thing. And unfortunately for them, 4 plays in, he ends up getting hurt, and it's kind of the same story all over again. It's like you're reliving the 2022 season all over again, and now they're facing the Patriots. There is nothing other to play for than pride, but yeah, they definitely want to snap this winning streak, no matter what they've said out in public. This is a talking point within that locker room.
What do you think? I would love your opinion on just who has the upper hand in this one, considering both teams have ineffective quarterback play and coming into this game with Trevor Siemian as the quarterback.
That's a nice way to put it. To be quite honest with you, but yes.
Who has the least of the lower hand? I mean, to say that either team will end up with an upper hand, especially on offense today.
Yeah,
it's a stretch.
I think it's going to come down to coaching, and I think the thing that I always liked about the Patriots, they don't necessarily shoot themselves in the foot a whole lot, whereas the Jets do. If you look at their game against the Browns, they committed a lot of penalties, a lot of unforced, and that's why they've lost a lot of games that they did. I mean, you look at even the game they won against the Commanders, also shot themselves in the foot and also allowed Washington to get back into that game and nearly win it at the end if it wasn't for a long field goal by Greg Zuerlein. So, yeah, I definitely think that's what it's going to come down to, who can make the least mistakes out there in the elements and also who can commit the less penalties. And that typically is why the Patriots have had control of this series, because the Jets have always found ways to shoot themselves in the foot.
Okay,
It's interesting that you said that because that was Mike's key to the game. The most turnovers loses.
Could you imagine a football analyst, Antoine, sitting here and coming up with
Taking
this
a bow for that.
This nugget, win the turnover battle as a key
I don't know if
to
you've
winning
ever
the
heard
game.
that in
I'm like,
analysis before.
Whoa. Wait a second.
He's not wrong.
What about third down efficiency? I don't know.
Well,
Wait. You got to get touchdowns in the red zone. Can't come away with 3.
Well, all of these are negatives on the Jets right on her because they are dead last in third down conversions and also red zone. But I'm sure you guys already know that too as well.
So one of the things that we've talked a lot about in New England, especially over the last 4 or 5 weeks, as the Patriots have continued to compete in these games. And I feel like in watching the league in general, there's a lot of bad teams that I found have continued to play pretty hard. What is your take on the Jets as a whole? I'm not talking about a bad quarter here or there, but as a whole, do you think the Jets have competed?
Yeah, I think so for the most part. I mean, I know the first half in Cleveland was not good by any stretch, but whether you talk
Much
about
like the
offensive
first
defense.
half in Buffalo for the Patriots last week.
Exactly.
They turned it over 4 times.
But they've also found ways to continue to compete too, especially their defense. I feel like these teams are very mirror images of each other in a way because they have really good defenses, which keep them in just about every single game that they're in. It's just a matter of can their offense score enough points in order to beat teams in this league, and obviously for both of these teams that hasn't necessarily been the case too. I think what it comes down to is just making the least amount of mistakes. But yeah, I think the Patriots have also, done a good job with competing there as well, especially considering they lost Judon early on in the season, and they've still continue to find ways to be one of the best defenses in football. And then with the Jets too, I mean, I know their offense has really struggled, obviously without Aaron and then Zach Wilson, and they've had 4 different quarterbacks starting and now 17 games. But they have a great defense. Quentin Williams is still a Pro Bowl guy. Obviously, Sauce Gardner, those are the guys that you look at too. But also C.J. Mosley has had a tremendous year. Quincy Williams might be one of the most underrated players in the NFL. And when you have all those guys that can help continue that cog in the machine, then yeah, you're always going to be in every single game that you're in.
Antoine Staley from the New York Daily News with us. Does Robert Saleh end up getting a bit of an extension in terms of the verdict coming in on him based on what happened with Aaron Rodgers at the start of the season? Or is there a consensus you get from the beat guys and from some of the fans in terms of what people are thinking about him right now?
Before I answer that, like Woody Johnson has already said, Robert Saleh and also Joe Douglas, the general manager, and Nathaniel Hackett will all be back next year. Now, that's been a split within the fan base too, because you see a team like the Houston Texans with a first-year head coach in DeMeco Ryans, and also C.J. Stroud, a rookie quarterback, and then they make the playoffs. You see a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers, who've had 3 different quarterbacks. They find a way to get 10 wins. Also, the Browns, they're going to start their 5th quarterback today, and then they found a way to make the playoffs. My point being is, you shouldn't use that as an excuse just because you lose Aaron Rodgers. I think part of it is they use that as an excuse early on and say, okay, we're going to get a mulligan. Let's just this season's going to be is what it is. But next season, this is it. That's it for this organization. I mean, this regime. Like, they have to win, and they not only know if making the playoffs is enough for them, because you're going to get Aaron Rodgers. You end up going to get all his friends that you brought in, including Dalvin Cook, including Alan Lazard, and a lot of that did not work out. So now it's time to put up a shut up. And if you don't do that in 2024, it's going to be wholesale changes across the board with the Jets.
Yeah, we're both like 6 hours away from being in the offseason. Just, overall, what would you say is the biggest Jets priority this offseason?
Offensive line, no question. Like, today will be the 13th different offensive line combination in 17 games, which by far leads the league. They failed to address that last year when they had 11 different players start on their offensive line. They thought that Mekhi Becton and Dwayne Brown would be good enough to have Aaron Rodgers block for them, but clearly that has not been the case too. Obviously, Aaron got hurt, but you have a 38-year-old Dwayne Brown. You have a Mekhi Becton who came off 2 knee injuries in a row, and it just hadn't worked out for whatever reason. But they did not address that enough in the offseason, and it really bit them in the backside. And now you have to go into an offseason where you're probably going to need at least 2 or not 3 starters on the offensive line, especially 2 tackles.
Sounds like the Patriots.
I was going to say, listening to you talk, it sounds like the Patriots who've also didn't address those offensive line issues as well.
Yeah, they're mirror images. Yeah. That's why I say these teams are really mirror images of one another. It's just coaching. That's the main thing with the Patriots. They have the coaching. The Jets, the jury is still out on that.
So I want to sort of dive into that a little bit. That's what Woody Johnson has said. How do you feel? Do you feel like it's time to make a move?
I think I would personally, because how many coaches and general managers do you know that failed on the top number 2 pick in the draft, and then after 3 seasons they're still able to keep their job? Not many.
Not without winning.
Yeah, exactly.
Like in San Francisco.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like they've had Robert Saleh has had a losing season every single year. So I don't think having Aaron Rodgers injury should give him more time.
Yeah, and your comparisons of and specifically Cleveland, to me, because their offense has been a mess. They have good personnel, just like the Jets have good personnel,
defense.
And they found a way. And I think the Jets have decent personnel on offense too, just not at quarterback. Now maybe even the Browns' offensive line has all gotten banged up.
Correct.
Their best player in Chubb has been out. So,
and
to me, at least Nathaniel Hackett should be looking for a job.
Exactly, but he won't, because him and Aaron Rodgers are friends.
Right.
And they had an opportunity to get Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco lives in New Jersey. He's from New Jersey originally. They didn't make the call. They chose not to make that call, despite him being in the organization the last few years. And look where it's got him. Joe Flacco's headed to the playoffs with a really good Cleveland team that I think can make some noise, especially how good their defense is. And the Jets will be sitting at home for the 13th straight year, which is the longest drought in professional sports right now, watching from afar.
Will Robert Saleh be able to run the steps in the stadium here today, or is the snow and the ice kind of?
Dude,
he already did. He already did.
He did. He already
did. Yeah, he gets here early. Like I think he started running the stairs about 9:30. So yeah, he's already done that.
Antoine, how does that sit with you? I look at that as like the ultimate hard-o move. It's like, don't you have something else you can be doing?
Hey, the man loves to work out. He loves to lift weights and also gets his steps in. I guess that's what gets him going. So
dude is stacked. He's stacked.
Okay. Yeah, I knew him a little bit. I mean, I grew up in Detroit, so I still follow the Lions pretty closely, and I was watching there. I was a little surprised when he got the head coaching job, but I was rooting for him. But I think I kind of feel the same way you are right now. Let me ask you this from a Jets perspective and someone who's lived elsewhere. You look at the Patriots. You look at what is going on here with Bill Belichick. Everyone has their own thoughts within the region, and I don't know if it's split, but there is a healthy number of people who said, why would you ever move on from Bill after what he's given you so far? Just a bit of an outsider perspective. How do you look at the situation here in New England?
Marty Schottenheimer, when I first got into the NFL, Marty Schottenheimer, the late, great Marty Schottenheimer, told me once that sometimes you can stay at a place too long. And I feel like that might be the situation with Belichick, too. I mean, he's great. I think he could go somewhere else and coach, and I think he would be effective. But I also think it's a time where it might be time to move on, just from his perspective too, because I think not only people will take for granted the run that the Patriots went, because that is unprecedented, not just in the NFL but in all the sports. I mean, I wrote it in my column, like, look at the Golden State Warriors. They've had like 7 or 8 years of success. You look at some of the other dynasties. I mean, we're talking nearly 20 years of excellence. You're never going to find that again in professional sports. And I think people have taken for granted how great and how unprecedented that was. And, it might be time for him to move on. It might be time for the Patriots to move on also because, get some fresh blood in there and also a new voice at times too as well that can also, again, help the offense too, because the defense is stacked too. I mean, we already know defensively they're going to be fine. I know a lot of talk has been about Mike Vrabel possibly coming in there. I think that might be a good, name, but also it doesn't address the offensive issues too that the Patriots have had. They definitely got to go out and get a quarterback. Maybe a Jalen Daniels or Drake May, or obviously Caleb Williams is still there too. But yeah, they have to find a quarterback.
All right. Are you going to jump on board with the 8-6 score prediction for today?
No.
9-2.
I got the Patriots winning 17-13.
Oh, okay. Wow. That is, by the way, the most popular score prediction, I think, from this entire season. We have more 17-13s amongst us and guests on the show. And, I mean, that speaks to what the Patriots have been able to do offensively.
When I snarkily say that it's time for Bill Belichick to go because he just wants to win game 17-13, that's my score. 17, because that's what I think that's perfect for him.
Yeah, he
no
likes
offense.
The
it's all about me and my defense. And, we'll wait for the other team to make a mistake. And, yeah. The last 2 weeks they've gotten special teams touchdowns. It's perfect for him.
Well, the last time I was here last year, obviously the Jones,
the Marcus Jones,
that was wild.
Yeah, that was incredible.
That.
Well, Antoine, appreciate you coming in. Always great to have a guest here in studio. Appreciate the time. Good luck today, and
stay warm.
Yeah. What do you got planned for the off season? You got anything fun you're gonna do?
Vacation. Like I am a Red Sox fan, so I'm definitely gonna come back up here and watch some Red Sox games too. So although I'm not too optimistic.
So you're from Charlotte. You're a Hornets fan, but you're a Red Sox.
We don't have a baseball team, so it's kind of like.
But that's like so far.
And then here's the quick story. Like I did an internship with the Boston Globe for a little bit out of college, and then did some things there. So that's kind of how I fell in love with the Red Sox.
Any of the Globe people you worked with then still here now?
Dan Shaughnessy's still here, so yeah. He's been a staple there. That's really about it, really.
I think it might be a.
Who'd have thunk it?
So who's your football team?
Antoine was an intern. I'm still here writing columns.
I don't have one now because of what I do, but I did grow up a Raiders fan. Yeah, I know. I'm all over the place.
You are.
So see, I'm not gonna criticize that. Like our boss, Fred, he has a lot of varied favorite teams, but they all happen to coincide with teams that won titles when he was like big fans of them. Like Raiders. When was the last time?
Bo Jackson. I was a Bo Jackson.
Oh, there you go.
See, that's fun. Like
I love Bo
that's
Jackson.
not like championship Raiders. Like I like Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson's my favorite athlete growing up, so that's why.
It's a good one.
I didn't know that.
Andy
about,
Hart.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Bo Jackson.
I didn't know that about Fred. Is he like?
Fred.
69
Mets. Elway.
I love
Broncos.
the '90s Yankees teams and stuff like that. I mean,
not the Yankees, but the '69 Mets. Definitely the Elway Broncos. I always tease them, like, mid '80s Georgetown Hoyas basketball.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
like
Yeah.
Wheelhouse.
Yeah,
Yeah,
easy.
John Thompson. Yeah.
I don't know. What a child. I had no idea.
Yeah, you're discussing me with the Georgetown talk. I went to Syracuse. So.
Oh, jeez.
wow.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well,
I apologize if I've offended you with rocket shots I've taken at Syracuse over the years.
Oh my
Jim
God.
Boeheim in particular.
and I will say this: you have so much more personality than most Syracuse people I know. They just.
Yeah,
Why do you
you don't
say
have to-
that, Hardy?
you don't have
You
to
think that
flatter
we don't
me.
have personality?
You don't have to flatter me.
You seem like an actual human person, as opposed to I am from Syracuse and I studied broadcast sports things.
I was mass produced
And now-
at the Newhouse.
And yes, and now I will give you my score prediction. Ho, ho, ho.
I actually do know grads that are like that, especially that do TV. So.
I know like 9 of
Especially
them.
the new Celtics announcer. I don't even know his name.
Yeah, I'm not
Mass produced.
touching. I'm not saying names, but yes, I do know people that are like that.
It's good school. My daughter,
Aren't you glad you came in?
my daughter loved it. She
What
just
a-
went and visited Syracuse a couple of weeks ago. She
Ugh.
loved it.
Oh yeah, it's a great school. It's
It's a
very
nice school.
expensive though, but yeah, it's great.
Yeah, she's not going there. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, Antoine, thanks again for stopping in. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate
Thank you
it.
very much.
All right. We're going to get to our phone calls here, 855-PATS-500. Email webradio@patriots.com. Who should we talk to? Oh, Tony in Canada.
Hey, before you
Yeah,
pot Tony up, did you happen to see that they're all wearing the Slater sweatshirts? Captain Slater.
Captain.
Oh, that's nice.
Captain, my captain.
So, before we get to Tony here, this is it. This has got to be it for Slater.
Yeah.
This is.
Oh, yeah.
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 Okay. We know. We
Yeah.
kind of know this.
Yeah, it feels like
Okay.
everything's pointing in that direction at
right.
least.
By the way, Antoine's. Thank you so much.
Shooting up the power rankings, I got to
Antoine
imagine. I mean,
Oh,
especially
strong.
as Jets, because he's going to be here every year.
Strong twice a year. But that was strong. That was a strong effort right there by Antoine.
Yeah, but if we could have him in studio for every Jets game at Gillette Stadium,
We?
Yeah.
the Royal we.
hear it.
Hardy, what are you hinting at?
Tony in Canada. Tony, what's going on? Thanks for joining us here on the Patriots pregame, which is fueled by Dunkin. What do you got, Tony?
Well, I'm just calling in about the last game for the season and wanted to share some thoughts. I think Belichick's definitely his last game here, as well as later. But I got two questions for you. One is serious. The other one's kind of off the wall. So
Nice.
First, the off-the-wall question. I think if the Patriots lose this game, you guys said that we're guaranteed the second round or second pick
No.
in the draft.
No. They
No,
could
we're
they
not.
could get the number 2 pick, but right now they're a little bit behind Washington.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here's the off-the-wall question, and I'll ask you a serious one. I'll get off the line right away. So anyway, assuming that if we were to lose today, we're guaranteed the second pick, and how important it is for the QB for us next year. If Kraft went to Belichick and said, hey, listen, I'd be willing to keep you on for another year, but we've got to get the second-round pick, in other words, lose the game, do you think Belichick would ever do that? And the serious question is this. How do you guys everyone's saying how Kraft is sort of being respectful and not making any announcements. But do you think it's in our best interest that Kraft makes the announcement right away as soon as the season's over that we're moving on? Or should he give it a few days before he makes any announcements? Thanks, guys.
Okay. Thanks, Tony.
Thanks, Tony.
Bye.
That's yeah. I mean, I think that's good stuff to chew on there.
It's one of the things. If you are just going to concede that this bill is gone, and for the purposes of this conversation, okay, they're moving on. Everybody's moving on. When do you do it? Do you
quickly?
Do you do it tomorrow along with the other announcements?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
So what about the notion that is disrespectful to lump Bill in with all the other?
I don't understand that. And I know, and I'm not. This is not an attack at you. You are saying what a lot of people have been saying. I don't really understand. If they're moving on and they're agreeing to part way, however you want to phrase it, I don't understand why it's utmost respect on Tuesday, disrespectful on Monday. I don't really understand that. Now, whether it actually happens tomorrow, I don't know, but I think that everybody should know tomorrow what is going to happen.
I do too, and I mean, I think everyone's building up like this meeting that it's all going to be decided tomorrow. Like they're going to hash it out. They're going to have their arguments 2 and 4, and I think it's already kind of determined. I think that the reports of this meeting having like a lot of weight. I don't really
think the
see
meeting. I'm with Mike. I don't think the meeting has anything to do like with Bill saying, "This is what
here's my pitch.
Here's my 5-point plan on
Right,
how we get back
right.
into playoff contention." I think the meeting, if there even is going to be one, is all about what they're going to do in the immediate, plan.
Yeah.
Like we're going to sit down. We're going to talk. All right, Bill. We're gonna move on. I'm going to announce a press conference. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Yeah. Whatever. This is how we're going to phrase it. Are you okay with that? No. How do you want to do it? What do we need to do?
Yeah.
They need to work out the details.
Right.
It's like an exit interview almost.
And that's where like the respect thing comes in for me. Like it's not the timing.
Right.
It's the how do we announce it? How do we, come
the
to a
respect
mutual,
is I'm going to tell you how I'm going to do it.
Right.
I'm totally
right.
with you, Mike.
That's where the respect is, like, not like the timing of it, because I mean, let's be honest, like all these teams have to move. There's only a certain amount of candidates, there's only a certain amount of jobs. And I mean, some could argue that if you are moving on from him, that you want to give him a chance to have some of these other jobs and not, hang on. What difference does 2 days make?
Well, that's that again. I'm with Mike here 100%. We're lockstep. I think that is the respect is not even just about what's best for the Patriots team or for Bill, but just doesn't he deserve to know right away?
Yeah.
I would think so.
Like, why should he have to wait 48 hours?
Right, like we're going to give you Wednesdays. You're going to be your special, your fired day. Like, like it's going to be a. This
I
is
would
how
say
the
it's more disrespectful to do that,
right?
But let's face it. Let's just say, for argument's sake, we all think that this is it, right? So let's just say we're right. Do you think if on Black Monday, which they call the day that everybody gets fired,
yes,
if there's 5 guys that let's say Arthur Smith gets fired, Ron Rivera gets fired, and Dennis Allen gets fired, and Bill Belichick gets fired. Respect. Who do you think people are going to be talking about?
Right,
Ron Rivera.
Like
it was
the entirety of the story will be New England.
Yeah.
And Bill Belichick.
Now the reason why it's might be a little bit different is some of those guys are getting fired tonight after the game.
Right, and I do not dismiss that as a possibility.
Right. Oh.
And I'm not saying that you're going to find out. You could like. My feeling is most of these teams do these things like there's a press conference at Gillette Stadium. So, like if there's a press conference announced tonight for tomorrow, what do you think that is?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's all. Like,
Okay.
I just think, and I think that's better for like if it was quick, it's better for everybody. That's all.
That's how I feel too. But people are
Okay.
like, you have to be respectful. You can't do it on Black Monday. And I'm like, it's respectful that he lasted the whole season because you could have just fired him after the Saints game.
But I think it's respectful to let him know as soon as possible.
Yeah.
You got some news?
No news. But
news.
just a thanks
news.
from our.
Oh, Wordle! I ended up getting it in 3.
I got it in 3, you guys.
I'm normally 4 or
newsless.
5.
Just you talked about the sweatshirts, and on the arm we have a close up here from our Patriots account. It says son, father, husband, teammate, 10-time Pro Bowl selection, 3-time Super Bowl champion, 13-time captain, 5-time All-Pro. So just laying out all of Matthew Slater's many illustrious roles. That
Think he'll be
saw with
back
this
next
team.
year?
No, what are they going to? I
I'm
guess
starting to feel like it's a no.
that's a no from me.
I get a lot of hot dogs.
No, we saw him in the locker room on Friday, and I don't know. I just got a little bit of a vibe of anybody who's had a last day at a job of like, yeah, I'm done. Like, I one more.
I mean,
just
he
that
had he had the run of the music all week at practice.
Right.
He was playing a lot of his
They got
gospel music
sweatshirts
and,
made
like,
somehow. I mean,
just
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna wait and see. But I mean, kind of just interesting.
So the mic's over there.
Look, we should get some food.
We're doing a show here. There it is. The guys just.
Oh, look at that! I see it.
Yeah, he is. He's just a special guy.
Yeah.
He's a special guy. And how about the idea of something special for him in the game today, like gadget wise?
I did see that.
Oh, like they throw a bomb to him or something.
Yeah, like they asked Bill about it on Friday, and he kind of shut it down. But he didn't say no, but he didn't really get into anything. But like something silly. Like,
what if the Jets just don't put a returner back and they just let Matthew Slater run down and cover that last kick all alone? He's just running free down the field, gets to down it himself. The Jets are.
Well, I was thinking more about
like you keep talking like
what
that.
What if you have him score a touchdown?
If he's going to down a punt, yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Like,
I said, would you
find a way to get him a touchdown on offense, or
oh my gosh,
run some kind of gadget play with him involved. I don't know.
What?
Let him take the last snap of the game. Take the knee in the last snap of the game.
Turnovers.
Turnovers.
Yeah, I can't go against my key.
Why is he going to turn the ball over?
See, he doesn't know what the hell he's doing back there.
He's Matthew Slater.
How about if he gets to start at wide receiver, like for the first
He's
snap?
covering punts 2 at a time when you were in high school.
Ow. I can't.
Oh, no. Hardy rib injury.
I can't laugh. That was an all-time.
Hardy rib questionable.
What did you do to your ribs? I missed the whole rib thing.
Oh yeah, because you were not even paying attention. I had a great story coming here. He was on his phone like one of my kids.
It's
for the
easy.
first 10 minutes I was here.
No,
it's really annoying.
Let me sum it up. It's an easy story. It's just he fell on a treadmill in his driveway.
No, it was on the grass on the hill leading up to the driveway.
He fell on a treadmill on the grass leading up to his driveway.
I was trying to carry
do the math.
Treadmill out of my house.
It looks pretty nasty out there. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's a bad.
It's going to be his last show, Paul, if you keep treating him like this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Be nice.
Let's talk to some more people.
Talk.
855-PATS-500. I'll get to you. Yeah. It's my ribs. Did you ever get a rib injury in the Marines there, Matt? You ever hurt your ribs?
Can't hurt steel.
Oh.
God almighty. And he's back.
Closing his rings.
Just speaking of hardos.
Right.
Spee in Fresno. Not you. I was talking about Morel. But go ahead,
Did
Spee.
he say you can't hurt steel?
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's closing his rings.
You should have heard some of the horribly offensive things he said to our guest during the Army-Navy game. That whole week, he didn't have a good thing to say about any of those young heroes in the building because they weren't Marines.
I got nothing bad to say about a Marine right there.
No, you can't.
You better not.
I know.
Hang
You'll
up.
Die.
Choke you out.
When we look back on this game today, like historically, which of the following do you think it's going to be remembered as? Is it going to be Bill's last game, Slater's last game, Hardy's last game, or the toilet bowl?
All.
I mean,
let's add David Andrews in there too.
Here's the thing about it being Bill's last game, and this goes back to something that got talked about in the preseason and before the season even started. When we're talking about, well, what's the draw for this team? Who's the face of the team? Is it Mac? I don't know. He could ended up not being Mac. And I heard this more than once. What's going to bring people to Gillette Stadium to see this football team? And people would say, Bill Belichick. He's the guy. I said, you're out of your minds. Nobody goes to a football game to watch the coach, to see what the coach does. I mean, you can barely spot him unless you got binoculars sometimes on the sideline. It's like, which one is he? Yeah, it's like, who cares? Who cares?
Writing stuff down with a pencil on a little index card.
Seriously.
Tackle.
Speed. Having said that, I think the game will end up being remembered as Bill's last game, first and foremost, above anything else, but not by virtue of anything that he does or you witness on camera or anything else. It will be remembered that way, but not for any concrete image or action.
Yeah, I think.
I'm with you on the latter part, but I do think that people get a warm, fuzzy feeling when they see Bill on the sideline. It's like ultimately a matter both of his historical competence, but also kind of a nostalgia for everything that he's represented. So
I can't believe you just said people get warm and fuzzy feeling connected to Bill Belichick. I seriously, what are you smoking in Fresno? I don't get it. I really don't.
Whoa, that was aggressive.
Well, come on, Spee. What? Seriously, you watch that? I've watched the games on TV, obviously, but I mean,
I do think that people care about him and they care about seeing him on the sideline, and yeah, so I wouldn't poo-poo that.
All right. Well, at least at the game in stadium, it's not much of a show. Put it that way. You know, it's just there's nothing to see here, literally.
Well, I think they're going to be a lot more exciting when Ben Johnson's there next year.
Oh,
people are definitely going to be a lot more into what's happening with.
Well, I would be. I just don't think that's going to happen.
now.
No. Speed, thanks for the call, buddy.
Yep.
All right, see ya.
I just think it's interesting how it worked out with Slater's going to kind of get all the attention here in the pregame and probably during the game, and that's what the focus is going to be. But after the game, I think that's when this attention kind of turns to like Bill. But Matthew Slater's going to suck up all this like.
It's not ever going to be remembered for the toilet bowl game. I'll tell you that.
No.
It's going to be remembered for Bill. I agree. Yeah. It's in after the game, Mike.
Not till after.
You're nailing it. Like it's going to. That's what I think that's why we need an extended post-game show today, Hardy.
Yeah.
And I know
4 or 5 hours.
You're mocking me, but that's what we're going to have to do.
Get Fred down.
And we
here.
might have a segment where we can maybe talk about your greatest moments in post-game show history.
Oh,
we'll work that.
A little Hardy reminiscing. I like that.
We'll work that into the third hour of the post-game. But we definitely. I mean,
Matt, you're going to have to produce that during the game. That you're going to sit there and go through.
It's all Bill all the
time.
time.
All that stuff. Speaking of leaving here today. I'm going to follow you out and do that back route thing.
All right.
I want nothing to do with Route 1. I don't think the breakdown lanes are open.
No, on the route.
Be tied up, but 4 hours after the game, it should be fine.
Once we get done with the extended post game, what is it, Tamara?
I am not opposed.
What?
Don't yell at me.
Sorry.
I am not opposed to the thought that at halftime this could be 0-0.
I don't know. I mean, we got to see what it looks like when we get out there. But I mean, early on, it didn't seem. I mean, it's definitely wet.
No,
but
not the weather. I mean, both teams
that they're so bad.
Both teams are bad no matter what.
I don't know.
Oh, I don't think you need weather for these teams to turn it over.
Yeah.
Did you watch last week?
Did you watch last night? By the way, did you watch?
I did watch last night.
Talk about turnovers. Holy!
Wasn't it? Are you talking about the Steelers game?
I mean, considering what the weather was,
wasn't it wet?
It was okay.
I didn't see any of the first one.
2 each, right?
I thought
they both fumbled twice.
2 weeks.
I thought there were 5 turnovers.
Oh, maybe I missed one. You could be right. The last game, by the way, I thought was really well played. Like two teams that I think are kind of midland, but they both played well. Houston and Indy, and I thought put a lot into it. And
one of the most extensive looks I've gotten at C.J. Stroud so far. Just impressed with him.
Some really, really big time throws under extreme duress.
Real good base.
So you are allowed to complete passes while under pressure.
Did you guys see that the Cardinals have decided to stick with Kyler Murray?
That's what they're saying, and I mean and we'll see if that does stick. I mean, everybody says things right now that want to reassure people, but though between him and Justin Fields, there's so much that's going to happen in the next week that will indicate how the draft might potentially play out depending on where the Patriots are, but. Nobody's got more intrigue than Chicago right now. Those guys have got.
But I do think that both of those teams have done, whether they do it or not, I don't know. But they've done a nice job of making it known that we're sticking with Fields, we're sticking with Murray.
Yeah.
So that means we're open for business. You know what I mean?
Right. If you want them, come get them.
Right. You're getting it out there that we're planning on sticking with what we have. We don't need these picks. We don't need to hold on. If you want it, come and get it.
If you want it, come and get it.
All right, no. I guess it was 2 each. It seemed like a lot more than that.
Oh, that game was a mess, though. It was a sloppy mess.
It was
hard.
A mess.
There was a lot of drop passes. There might have been only 4 turnovers, Hardy, but to your point, the ball was on the ground a lot more than that.
Did Washington lose 7 straight since they beat the Patriots?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing as like Chicago last year, where it's like one team comes in here and somehow handles the Patriots no problem, and then goes on to not win.
Now the only difference is Washington has summarily gotten rid of all their players since then.
Yeah.
But now that is a tank to
remember.
That's a tank to remember.
How about Melvin in Tennessee? Melvin joining us on the Patriots pregame, fueled by Dunkin. Hi, Melvin.
What's up, y'all? What's going on?
Hey, Mel.
Hey. So Hardy, if this is your last show, then you've been awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, hopefully you come back, but if not, then of course I understand. It sucks like the rest of everything else in this season. But one question I wanted to ask, with the defensive end, like outside linebacker role with the team since Judon's went down, and the just getting constant pressure on the passer. How do you all feel that we need to address that with the other 60 issues we got? Like, do you think anybody's developed? Do you think that's another position we have to just completely blow up and start over? Just where do you think we are going forward with filling that role and getting pressure on the passer?
Yeah, I think it's really important to try to find who's the next Judon, who's the next 3-down edge player who can stop the run and get after the quarterback. I think they missed Judon. They were able to kind of piece it together. Jennings is big, stout piece on the edge. I like him. I would bring him back, but I don't see him as – I think he's a piece of the puzzle, but they need that next Judon. And, I mean, last year we talked about, man, what does this team do if Judon goes down? And I think, even Antoine was in here very complimentary of the Patriots defense, but I think when you got down to it against the pass, they've got some shortcomings against the pass. And, of course, Christian Gonzalez coming back will help, and Judon, if he continues to play at a high level, if they can figure out contract situation with him, I think that's part of the Judon conversation too. But I was saying to somebody, I mean, just to boil it down, you got to go offense at least the first, 2 picks. I mean, the only reason I could see going defense is if you really had an outside linebacker, defensive end, hybrid guy that you think can develop into a 3-down guy. That's the only position on defense that I would hear an argument for in the first 2 days of the draft. I think it's really important.
Yeah.
Melvin, I appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, it was funny when
I was going to say, I feel like there are multiple positions like that on defense where I hope that they can find someone to groom, specifically like Godchild. I'm like, if anything ever happened to him, we don't have that
you could
big
get some
body.
depth behind him. Keon White, I think, and Barmore help. I think those guys, though, are pretty – I mean, I love how Godchild's played, and I think he's perfect for here. Do you still have Guy? I mean, there's definitely some depth questions on those spots, but I like what you have at corner. I mean, I'm intrigued. I know, other people probably disagree. I think Paul would probably disagree with me. But, finding some guys here. I mean, I think Isaiah Bolden was somebody that, kind of looked good this summer and, unfortunately got hurt in that last game. Alex Austin's played pretty well. So you lost Jack Jones this year, but you got Alex Austin, who's a rookie. So you have at least some young depth to kind of play with once, and Gonzalez and Jonathan Jones continues to play at a high level. So they got some stuff. I wonder how they're going to address the slot, though. Is Marcus Jones ready for that slot role? Do they bring back Miles Bryant? I know he's kind of a, guy that brings up a lot of debate of, guy that can do a lot, but is he ideally suited to play a full-time slot role in a man-to-man defense? That might be a little bit tough sell, but they got some moves to make. But otherwise, it's like tackles. You got to find tackles, and you got to find some tight ends. You got to figure out what you're doing there. Here we go.
Oh, we have Inactives. What do we got?
Oh, wow, Mac Jones.
Oh,
Mac Jones. So he'll be the third quarterback, but interestingly enough, that means that our second quarterback is
Nathan Rourke.
I don't know what that means, but JaMychal Hasty is out, so I think it's big Kevin Harris day. I mean, I think you look at this weather. I think Kevin Harris got a lot of juice
for
left.
The people just listening right now, as opposed to looking at the
screen.
Why don't you actually
Thank you.
give us the list of Inactives?
Nope. Deuce has been fired. Mac Jones, Tyquan Thornton, Josh Bledsoe, JaMychal Hasty, LaMichael Petaway, which is interesting, Trenton Brown, and Sam Roberts.
You ain't playing, guy.
Yeah, so Thornton, that's a little bit of a red flag to me. Petaway was just promoted to the active roster. He's been here about a week, and then he's inactive. So I guess Matt Sokol was promoted. He'll be the second or third tight end, I guess. But Thornton, just kind of a disappointing cap to a really disappointing first 2 years of his career. And
what's with Mac being the emergency?
Yeah, that's interesting
weird
to unpack. I'm not.
Is he sick?
No.
I mean, that means Mac's not going in unless both Zappy and Rourke get hurt. So.
But it's why do that now? That seems weird.
Talk about disrespectful.
I don't know.
That seems odd. But there were some posts saying that Rourke and Zappy were doing most of the warming up, and that Mac was just catching passes.
Was Mac warming up in the locker room? Did he get to do that?
I don't know.
But that's been the question, and I've had some people.
'Cause they've done that before, Tamara.
We've been talking a little bit about just, what Mac's role's been since he's kind of been benched. And, I had brought up, I just don't really see him running out with the guys. I don't see him on the bench. I mean, some people, send me some things of, when they beat Denver and, you saw some celebration from Mac. And, you did see, he was part of it. But he kind of feels removed from it right now. And that's why this move doesn't really seem all that surprising.
He doesn't seem like he's a part of it out there. But, during warm-ups, though, to Deuce's point, I mean, you don't see that, do you, Tamara?
No.
And if he's the backup, especially where they're, going through here's what they're doing. It struck me as weird, and this kind of continues to follow it. I wonder. I think Mac's probably gone. I think they probably let him go get a fresh start somewhere. But I can't help but wonder if there was a new regime to come in. Do you want to give him a chance? If you're gonna play, look, he's an asset. You don't have a quarterback. Is there a harm in just letting him stay here with Zappy and compete? Granted, we're going to bring in a veteran. We're going to bring in probably a rookie high-round draft pick too. I don't know. I still think lean towards Mac is probably gone. And with this today, him being the third quarterback, I do wonder if it's we got to move on from him and give him a fresh start somewhere else. But if it's a whole new thing, would you maybe want to keep him around just to see? I don't know.
It depends on how. I think you just touched on it, Deuce. Is it all new? Like everything's new. New coach, new OC. There's really what about the system? There is no system. The system is going to be the one that we start here in the 2024 season. And if that's the case, then I don't know why you would need Mac here.
Yeah, well, and if you come in and you liked Mac, like what if it's somebody out there who was like, look, I was on another team at the time. We really like this kid. I don't think the Patriots did him any favors. Maybe we can try to get something more out of him. I don't know. It's such an important position. I draft one every year. I'm just not in the business of casting them off, even if they've had a terrible run here and they seem like they're broken. It's just I think long and hard before casting off an asset at the most important position, despite all the things that kind of went wrong this year.
But I think that's the NFL. I mean, obviously, Mac had a really bad hand dealt to him, but I feel like the NFL, you're going to face a lot of adversity, and if you can't overcome it, you can't stay here. Like Bailey Zappi, for example, the past 2 weeks he's been rough, but he's kept playing. If Mac Jones started a game with a strip sack or a pick six, it's game over. There's an hour and a half left in the game. It's over. It's over. He can't shake it off.
Yeah, and I wonder how much the team realized that too. It's just, I don't know. I having watched this team, and I don't want to make a big deal out of how different it was with Zappi and Mac, because I think generally it was kind of the same. But I can't help but kind of feel like there are a few more guys rallying with Zappi than there might have been with Mac. Or maybe it's just the fact that it snowballed on Mac and he lost some guys along the way, but I don't know. It just, the signs right now to me are pointing that he's just on the outs and he will be released at some point very soon within the offseason.
Do you think he's worth anything?
I mean, a conditional. That's probably what a sixth or maybe a seventh that turns into a sixth if he hits playing time incentives. I mean, something like that. But I do think Mac could deserve a fresh start, and I do think that there were a lot of things that happened here that weren't necessarily fair to him, that didn't maximize what he does. I don't know. It's a great question of, can you unbreak somebody like that who's just so in their own head, and maybe sitting these last few games has given him a newer perspective, but it just feels like if he's ever to get back, it's probably not going to happen here.
Before Josh got fired, I was thinking he could go to the Raiders and have, Josh back. He could have Jacoby. I was thinking that maybe that could be a spot where he could and get back into it, but I don't know now.
One more thing just to highlight too, Evan just wrote about it in his inactive analysis, but how about Jabril Peppers coming back for the last game, overcoming a hamstring injury? Anybody could have just shut it down, look, I'm banged up, this is a wet field, and not ideal situations, but you talk about moving forward, guys that you want to build around. No question, Jabril Peppers is a player that's shown a lot of toughness and resilience, and I think he's one of these emerging leaders of this team that I would continue to build around.
It's like what he said in Germany when somebody asked him, would you ever consider playing flag football? And he's like, no, I'm a violent guy. I like to hit people. I feel like he's a guy who, after being sidelined for 2 weeks, he's like, I want to get back out there. Even if it's just one more game, I want to get back out there. I just really like his energy. And if you haven't seen him in that Michigan-Washington video, it's so funny. Did you watch the video, Hardy? Of who's going to win the national championship?
I did not.
It's so funny.
All right. I'll see.
He thinks Michigan.
Basically, don't root against anybody that he played for.
Oh, I see. All right.
Well, actually, one more question. I don't mean to cut you off, but do you think maybe this is a sign they're going to give Rourke a chance to get into the game today? Or is it? I don't know. Just,
to what end, though?
I don't know.
I mean, why? What would be the point?
Attaboy.
Attaboy for what? The years of service?
Being nice. I don't
know. Thank you for all the time you spent here.
He got everybody really nice Christmas gifts, and they were like, "These hats are great. Let's give them some playing time."
Did you see what Tua gave the quarterback room? Which I've never heard of the quarterback giving gifts to the offensive line.
What was it?
Yes, because Patrick Mahomes gave
them all
the
other quarterbacks.
Yes.
What?
Tua gave everybody in the quarterback room. He goes, "I can't wait for you to open this. It's gonna be awesome." Big box. They open up the box, and I was like, "What is it?" Guy goes, "Oh, it's a golf simulator." And Marino's standing there for after the season, right? And he goes, "Yeah, well, I didn't get one for Uncle Dan because he's already got one. This is gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome." And I'm looking at that thing, and as a golfer, I looked at it and said, "Oh my God!" So now I got to take this thing home, put it together. I got to find room in my house for the net and the mat.
And you live in Florida.
And you live in Florida,
that's an odd gift.
It's a really, really odd gift. And far be it from me to, say it's not good. But I doubt it's very good. If you can get a golf simulator in a box.
Right, it's just a screen and a projector, probably.
I don't even know if it's that.
Yeah.
That's weird.
That doesn't
That's
come
a
with the
weird
screen.
gift.
They're like, you got to hang a sheet up. Like, and then your wife's like, we can't use the multi-thread count sheets. You got to get a crappy sheet.
So I got to go home and now I got to take away a room in my house. And I got to, all right.
That's the baby's room. Like, not anymore.
Come on, don't you have room? No, I'm a backup quarterback. I'm third on the depth chart. I'm renting an apartment.
It's a major award. I got to set it up.
Or it could be a bowling alley.
So
Good, send the deed.
Before we take another call, I don't know if you were doing another call.
No, I was doing emails.
There's a very weird tweet
Oh.
saying former Raiders coach and Patriots offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels spotted entering VIP gate at Gillette Stadium.
Oh, he's here for Slater.
That's weird. You can watch on TV.
Uh-oh. He's calling plays. He's calling plays for Rourke.
Where's the VIP gate? The one right over here?
I don't know. Is it?
That's I would think.
I've never been a VIP in my life, so I don't know.
Never, not anywhere, not once.
Josh in the building.
That's weird.
Eh.
All right, let's get to the emails here. Nick in Tucson. Look, I don't care what it does for our draft position. We have a 99.95% chance of having a top 5 pick, and beyond that, the order at the top of the draft is highly dependent on how the rest of the games unfold today. My best friend is a Jets fan. We've been friends for about 7 years now. Jets have never won as long as we've known each other. Keep the streak alive. FTJ.
What is FTJ?
Frederick Thomas Yock.
Fill the jugs.
Excuse me.
I don't know.
You don't know what FTJ means? Oh, Tamara.
Forget the Jets.
Forget the Jets.
Forget you.
Forget the
Remember
Jets.
when they used to do that? That was the dub. You get after the movie. Forget you.
Yeah. Well, when they show Scarface on regular TV, it's forget you right before the cop gets shot. All right, let's step aside here. We'll continue with your phone calls, 855-PATS-500. More of your emails. We'll get to our Sunday six-pack and our over-unders and a strange noise that sounded like somebody trying to drill a hole through the roof of my mouth. I don't think that's what that was, though. So instead, we can't go to break just yet. So instead, I will tell you a tale of... No, I'll read... Oh, now we can go to break? I think I filled admirably in that 8 seconds I had to fill on my own. Thank you very much. All right. We'll be back with the Patriots pregame right after this. Stay with us.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in VC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
By the time this Patriots fan is finished drinking his Pepsi, you'll be 15 seconds closer to game time. Patriots watching. Better with Pepsi.
This is the Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris ahead of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke.
Studies show that up to 94% of female C-level executives played sports. That's why Bridgestone is partnering with professional football teams across the country to sponsor girls' flag football leagues, bringing new opportunities to those that need it most. Because learning to catch and dodge matters. But learning to lead on the field so you can lead in any field, that's what really matters.
iPhone 15 Pro on Verizon.
This holiday, trade in any iPhone in any condition for the new iPhone 15 Pro with titanium, Apple TV 4K, and 6 months of Apple One. All on us with Unlimited Ultimate. Go to your local Verizon store now. 6 months of Apple One, then $10 per month. $999.99 device payment or full retail purchase with new smartphone line on Unlimited Ultimate plan required. Less $1,000 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. Promo credit ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. 0% APR. Apple TV 4K and Apple One offers require eligible phone purchase with activation on Unlimited Ultimate. Additional terms and conditions apply. Visit Verizon.com for details.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
oh no.
Replacements were shipped with FedEx. And with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
iPhone 15 Pro on Verizon.
This holiday, trade in any iPhone in any condition for the new iPhone 15 Pro with titanium, Apple TV 4K, and 6 months of Apple One. All on us with Unlimited Ultimate. Go to your local Verizon store now. 6 months of Apple One, then $10 per month. $999.99 device payment or full retail purchase with new smartphone line on Unlimited Ultimate plan required. Less $1,000 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. Promo credit ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. 0% APR. Apple TV 4K and Apple One offers require eligible phone purchase with activation on Unlimited Ultimate. Additional terms and conditions apply. Visit Verizon.com for details.
Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in PC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
By the time this Patriots fan is finished drinking his Pepsi, you'll be 15 seconds closer to game time. Patriots watching. Better with Pepsi.
This is the Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris ahead of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke.
Studies show that up to 94% of female C-level executives played sports. That's why Bridgestone is partnering with professional football teams across the country to sponsor girls' flag football leagues, bringing new opportunities to those that need it most. Because learning to catch and dodge matters. But learning to lead on the field so you can lead in any field, that's what really matters.
TouchView
iPhone 15 Pro on Verizon.
This holiday, trade in any iPhone in any condition for the new iPhone 15 Pro with titanium, Apple TV 4K, and 6 months of Apple One. All on us with Unlimited Ultimate. Go to your local Verizon store now. 6 months of Apple One, then $10 per month. $999.99 device payment or full retail purchase with new smartphone line on Unlimited Ultimate plan required. Less $1,000 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. Promo credit ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. 0% APR. Apple TV 4K and Apple One offers require eligible phone purchase with activation on Unlimited Ultimate. Additional terms and conditions apply. Visit Verizon.com for details.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
oh no.
Replacements were shipped with FedEx. And with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
iPhone 15 Pro on Verizon.
This holiday, trade in any iPhone in any condition for the new iPhone 15 Pro with titanium, Apple TV 4K, and 6 months of Apple One. All on us with Unlimited Ultimate. Go to your local Verizon store now. 6 months of Apple One, then $10 per month. $999.99 device payment or full retail purchase with new smartphone line on Unlimited Ultimate plan required. Less $1,000 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. Promo credit ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. 0% APR. Apple TV 4K and Apple One offers require eligible phone purchase with activation on Unlimited Ultimate. Additional terms and conditions apply. Visit Verizon.com for details.
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
You don't get the extra value meal?
No.
They got Coke or Pepsi there. They're Coke family.
How do you not know this?
I haven't been to McDonald's in probably 20 years.
Do you get your Big Mac?
I don't even want to know him.
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Hardy.
I don't know if a member of this show has ever done more to distance himself personally, professionally, more so than Mike Dussault did last week when he talked about not going to McDonald's.
Oh.
Now he doesn't go, And that stuck with me.
It's unfortunate because he doesn't really carry himself like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he seems like an everyman.
Yeah.
No.
And it turns out,
I got to eat more.
Which he's not.
I got to eat more
He's not,
McChicken
he's
sandwiches.
not an everyman, but he does carry himself like one.
right?
Until that.
Which makes him duplicitous.
Oh,
Yeah, a little bit.
big words from such a.
Big words from a big man. I wish Balboa well.
I'm sorry for not eating McDonald's. It's just
He was a great champion.
I
wish him well.
I thought I did a good job explaining.
his time has passed.
Never on the run, really. Never needed to just jump in and get some McDonald's. But I apologize. I do. Does Dunkin count if I have a Dunkin egg sandwich in the morning? Does that count?
You
I mean,
jerk.
that's the same as McDonald's, though.
No,
It's
it's not. Dunkin'.
Right.
No, but I'm talking about. No, never mind.
Dunkin' is gourmet food.
The food of the people.
Dunkin' is.
That's why I said never mind.
I love Dunkin'.
It's getting nasty
I love
out there,
Dunkin'.
huh?
I only eat from fine bakeries.
According to those up in the press box, it seems like it's getting pretty nasty.
Getting pretty nasty.
I'm not looking forward to this ride home.
No. But by the time we get out of here, 9 o'clock ish, it'll be fine.
Exactly.
Yeah, after the 4-hour post game.
Get Fred in
well,
here.
three. I don't want to exaggerate.
See
Three.
Josh McDaniels. See if we can get Josh McDaniels down into the studio. He's up in the suite, I guess, today, watching for Slater. I guess. Yeah. Sure.
Well, that's just a theory.
Yeah.
Eh?
No, maybe.
Why Josh McDaniels is here because it's Slater's last game?
Maybe he's part of Bill's grand plan tomorrow in the pitch, and he's like, "Look, I already had Josh in the building. He likes what we got. We're gonna just tweak a couple things and bring Josh back. Boom, Josh and Bill O'Brien."
He hadn't seen any of our games yet this year, so I gave him my ticket.
It is pretty remarkable, though. We were, Josh.
Could it be that
McDaniels-
Josh McDaniels still has, a fondness of Bill Belichick and wants to see him coach his last game with the Patriots?
How did Josh McDaniels was a coach of the Raiders for probably 24 games, and somehow, including preseason, he found the way to beat the Patriots 3 times in the less than 14 months he was.
If you
want to
add the 20 games that he coached the Broncos, he beat them once there
too, right? I mean, Josh knows how to beat Bill, I guess.
Yeah. Well, Matt Patricia figured it out with the Lions. Josh figured it out in both Denver and Las Vegas.
Vrabel.
Do you think all of the guys that beat Bill just they go to their teams and they just say just don't do something stupid,
right?
And you'll win. They don't have any other plan. The plan is to wait for you to do something stupid.
I don't know the common threads off the top of my head, but it's pretty remarkable. Even B-Flow had some success. I mean, B-Flow got hammered, but he also really hurt the Patriots with that last loss they had in 2019.
I think that was an impressive win
Yeah.
because there was an enormous gap in talent between those two
they had
teams.
nothing to play for, and they came in here and won that one. That was a sign of the decline.
Let's go back to the phones here. I have a special something to talk to Michelle in South Carolina about right now. Michelle, thanks for being on the show. Are you watching or just listening?
I am watching and listening.
And what do you see me wearing right now, Michelle?
A Christmas present.
That's right, which wasn't meant for me, but once all of the gifts were handed out, this was left as it did not fit any of the other intended recipients. T-Bone got his, and Zoe and Beetle both got theirs, and there was an extra. There was this extra garment left that happened to be in my size, and I said, "Ooh, I really like that," and I'm taking it. So thank you, Michelle.
Oh, oh no, Beetle didn't get one?
I don't know. Well, Milliken didn't get one.
I thought that was for me, Michelle.
I don't know who didn't get what, but all I know is I got this, and I'm very happy with it.
Oh, well, I'm glad.
Yes, thank
How's
you.
your morning show going?
It's early.
You're not listening, huh, Michelle?
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Well,
unbelievable.
No, I wake up too late because I go to bed so late, but I promise I'm calling in next week.
Okay, all right, that'll be good. What do you got?
Okay.
What do you think? What do you think about today, Michelle? What are you looking forward to in this game?
Oh, it's such a weird day, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't even know how to feel.
Yeah.
Like, I want him gone, but I feel bad for him because of everything he's been hearing about himself.
Yeah, never feel bad for somebody who makes $25 million a year. Yeah, that person does not need your pity.
Hey, Nantucket.
That's true. I don't know. I guess I'm looking. I don't know the weather out there. I don't know what they're going to be playing in. I'm just looking for them to win. I really want them to get Penix. I don't care about his age. I think his knee injury, I think he'll be fine. I really do. I like him the most. But my curiosity is, if I don't know about the games, my thing is when Bill leaves, whoever comes back, whoever comes in, I'm thinking a Vrabel type, or they're going to do something with Mayo. But if they do bring Josh back in, how does that work with Bill O'Brien? And do old players or do other players in the league see us as changing, and now is it easier for us to get better players coming in because there is now going to be some sort of change?
Well, I don't think it's going to affect it all that much in terms of the, who's coaching here. It has mostly to do with, are you willing to spend the money on free agents, if that's what you're talking about, getting players in, and whether or not that person is going to be able to make a difference. Let's face it, not every team was in on DeAndre Hopkins, because not every team had that need for his particular skill set at wide receiver. But if you do, and there's a player out there that's being courted by several teams, are you willing to pay that player what that player wants to make in order to play football? And if you do, chances are you'll get him. I mean, I think we overthink this probably too often. It's like, oh, who wants to play there? Who wants to play there? Guys will play in Green Bay. Guys will play in teams. We've seen guys go to Arizona and Tampa and everywhere else. Why? Money. And that's what ends up deciding it more often than not, I think, Michelle.
Yeah. One more question.
Okay.
Is the number one team for Belichick, would it be Atlanta?
I think that's a really good one. I
Really?
think that's a good sort of under the radar one. I know, I think Schefter had something that sort of vaguely connected, Bill, but I think there's some talent on that roster, and I don't think that's completely out of the realm of possibility. Now, I think there are going to be a lot of interesting teams that you can talk yourself into, like the Chargers, with Herbert, and Washington with sort of a new regime and all that, and and there's going to be others that you don't even know right now. A lot of people say that the Raiders would love to make a big swing, something like that with it. I think Atlanta is one that Tampa. If Tampa loses today to Carolina and winds up outside of the playoffs, even if Tampa wins, I could see them making a change from Todd Bowles. That's another one. He's got, spends a lot of time down in Florida.
It's perfect.
Right?
Right back to Tampa.
Talk about the symmetry.
There you go.
But, yeah, I think that you could talk yourself into a lot of different places. But I agree with Hardy's point about the free agency in the short term. If you pay more money than other teams are willing to pay, you're going to get them. Otherwise, right now, you don't have any inherent advantages.
Yeah, that's what I wonder about we had 20 years in the explosion of social media and new media that have all happened, from 2000 to now. There is a part of me that wonders how a Patriots team that, isn't dominant year after year after year kind of fits in to the landscape. Are they, can they remain one of these big, high drawing teams, or, is it going to be harder if you're not so dominant being where you are geographically? I think that the fan base is really passionate here, but it's hard to imagine what things are like without Bill Belichick and constantly kind of winning.
Michelle, thanks for the call. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you later.
Okay, enjoy the game, guys.
Okay, thanks, you too.
Thank you.
Back to the emails here. Joe in Weymouth, congrats on making a lousy football season palatable. A little bit negative at times, hard not to be, but entertaining. Here's what I hope for. Listed most important from top to bottom. Okay?
This is for a new host or for the new team?
This is for today's game.
Oh.
And beyond.
Game. Okay.
Play well but lose. Maybe lose a game. Maybe lose a close game while doinking a 60-yard field goal attempt at the end. I know I'm supposed to hate the Jets, but I want the better draft position. Number 2, no injuries. Number 3, keep Bill. Believe Bill's hatred for the Jets could be his downfall as a win today when the Crafts prefer a loss. Maybe the final straw. Ironically, losing today may save his job. See you next year, Joe in Weymouth.
You know,
I don't think anything anything to do with the outcome of today's game, has anything to do
or
with
the
Bill
last,
being here.
say, 6 or 7 games.
I still say that after you got the win against Pittsburgh, had you run the table, that would have given them reason to rethink things. That's just human.
Yeah.
That's just being human.
It's kind of interesting to
don't.
me. What if there was one,
I know.
if there's one thing left from the dynasty right now, if there was one thing left right now. What is it? Jets, right? You've beaten them 15 straight times. That's kind of the only thing left, right? And so if it were to end,
talking about this game, huh?
no, but if it were to end today, it almost puts a period on all of it. That's kind of if it were to end today. There's nothing really left, and and then Bill leaves.
I want to thank the guys in studio for fixing the overtime. Avoid overtime.
Overtime. That is a good key.
Overtime, avoid.
Now I get it. Hardy, and just to finish up our, and we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, I think, after the Pittsburgh game. I feel like, especially in retrospect, but I feel like you read this story about the Andrew Callahan, Doug Kyde story about the dysfunction.
Sure.
And you see when that sort of started.
Yep.
Like February. I think it's been over for a while. I think unless they had you know what, I didn't think it was going to work either. They had a lot of dysfunction heading into the season, and all of a sudden they went 11-6. Well, it's nothing to see here. They straightened it all out.
I'm sure you guys talked.
But whether they went 4-13 or 6-11 or,
the foundation
8-9,
was laid.
the
die
this
was
is
cast.
dysfunction, and we can't live with this.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how much you guys did talk about that because it was Thursday when it came out. Did you do much of it on Thursday's show?
Yeah, we had a whole show.
We printed it and everything.
Okay.
Mike had highlighted
Whoa.
passages.
I did.
But I do think that, and again, those stories, I understand, are often met with some skepticism because they're littered with anonymous quotes. But I do think there's a... Is that who
sometimes the Twix just goes. And,
I was watching that Sopranos marathon. I was watching that yesterday too.
Were you really?
Yeah. I don't know about you. I cannot watch 15 minutes of
one
season
episode.
2, episode 3, and not be like, well, now
All right,
I'm here.
in.
Well, now I'm here.
Which show is it?
Sopranos.
Oh.
Did you not watch The Sopranos?
No. Well, you guys are probably going to attack me again
I
for
will
not eating
I
McDonald's.
will not attack you.
No, I watched. I hadn't watched it. I recently tried to, and I got into season 1, and then I just kind of lost it, and I apologize.
I walked out of the studio one time with Andy Hart sitting in that chair. I almost walked out again with the McDonald's thing last week. And I want to walk out again right now.
Blame me.
I watched The Sopranos for a few episodes, season 1. I just kind of lost interest. You lost interest in The Sopranos, did you?
I did.
Huh.
No. It was.
Okay. All right.
I know. I'm terrible.
I, too, had all kinds of stuff from the Callahan story that I made separate notes on. But to your point, Paul, about the organization, and it started not February, but last January, when Bill had no intention of running the search for an offensive coordinator in good faith.
I loved my boy Jim Murray and Tony doing their little thing on that this week. And Tony's like, yeah, I want Bill. I want you to find a new offensive coordinator. Okay, I'm on that, boss. I just feel like it wasn't done in good faith. They brought in former, Bill's former players and a guy who was already the offensive coordinator here.
And who got it?
Yeah. You didn't really open up any sort of new ground to, explore opportunities to maybe better the offense or better the team. So I think barring an unexpected, really strong season, I think.
Yeah.
I think there was I think there's a really good argument to be made that the Crafts knew that this was Bill's last year before the season started.
As soon as how we reacted to when they kind of took the reins that first week of the offseason and sent the letter to the fans and said things are going to be different. And, it's been one of the hardest kind of things I've had to try to, buy is the notion of Bill Belichick not wanting to do something and personally being like, well, if that's how you want it, then it's going to go bad and we'll just have to let it go bad then. That kind of self-defeating kind of way. That's one of the hardest things for me to buy.
Did you hear how Mike said that? you know how I read that, and we talked about it on Thursday. It's like, oh, all right, new offensive coordinator. All right, that's a first round Christian Gonzalez defense. Second round Keon White defense. Third round Mate Mapu defense. Like, oh, let's see how your hotshot can do now. Yeah. Like, and I don't think that's that out of the realm of possibility.
And it's not like he did it to some unknown. He did that to Bill O'Brien
because he thought that Matt Patricia should still be there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, that's why I think, barring some kind of a unforeseen, listen, some people thought it was going to work. You know, I didn't think it was going to work. I didn't see any changes offensively. I didn't see any noticeable improvements done to the offense. The best you could say was they replaced guys with similar guys.
Right. Yep.
That's not going to make you really discernibly better.
No.
And ultimately, it didn't work.
Let's get back to the phones here. We'll get back to the
TJ
emails
and NJ.
too.
I haven't heard from him in a while.
Okay, well, let's talk to TJ and NJ right now. TJ, what's going on? Thanks for calling the Patriots Pregame Show fueled by Dunkin.
Thank you. I haven't called for a while, Paul, because I usually listen and stay late. I'm never live, but I wanted to make sure I call in today and wish you guys a Happy New Year and let you know my 3 wishes for 2024.
Okay.
In order, number 1 is bringing Hardy back for the pre- and post-game show.
Thank you.
I know you guys are working on it, but got to get that done. Number 2 is to bring Bill Belichick back. I know we all think he's gone. I probably think he's gone too. But, you know, I said for many years, in Bill I trust, and it's just not right to say, in Bill you trust when it's going well, and when it's not going well, you know, jump off the bandwagon. I was in favor of giving Brady whatever he wanted for as long as he wanted, given what he did for us, and I feel the same way about Bill. And number 3, I'd love to lose to the Jets and get the top 3 pick. So those are my wishes. Hardy, I look forward to 4 hours post-game show. If it is the last time.
I don't think any of you are funny. I don't find the least a bit of humor in that whatsoever.
Maybe a little
TJ.
something extra in the envelope this
Thank
week.
You TJ, thanks for the call, man.
Thanks, TJ.
I didn't do the work I did to not have the 4-hour go show.
But that was a discussion about having a long.
How do you do the emoji with the eyeballs?
It was a decision.
Eyeball emoji.
I don't know what he's talking about, Hardy.
I don't know what.
I thought it was a ruse that I was willing to partake in, but
I do
Matt's
appreciate
making it seem like it's reality. 4 hours.
I do.
I'm just trying to be a funny guy.
I appreciate TJ's.
Oh, you were trying to. Oh, yeah, I'm in on that.
I'm done.
4 hours.
I appreciate TJ sticking to the "and Bill we trust" because there's a certain smug satisfaction in hearing from an "and Bill I trust" guy. It's like, but I can't trust him anymore. I'm like, yeah, see? Yeah, change your tune, see? But TJ's like, no, you trust him for 20 years. I trust him now. That is not a unique perspective. There are plenty of people, and I don't think there are people who are watching every snap of every game and really, really paying attention. But there are plenty of people who just take the overall view of, this guy won 6 Super Bowls with this team over the course of nearly 20 years, and you're not going to, and now you're going to fire him. It does, when you just say it that way, it does seem a little silly.
Yeah, and I had the pictures are starting to come in, and it really does look like a snow globe.
It looks great. I love it.
But yeah, today I do love it.
Because we're in the press box.
No, but I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of times, like, if it was a big game and it was an important game, I don't really like games to be. I know I'm in the minority on that. Like, Andy Hart used to argue with me tooth and nail. Love a good weather game, blah blah blah. And I'm like,
you want it to be
no, I want the teams
straight
to,
up, and the better team wins, not the team that didn't get slipped.
That handled the elements better.
Yeah.
But today, with nothing really on the line, it'd be fun to watch a game like this.
Yeah.
But the Bill thing, and just because I disagree with it doesn't mean it's any different. I do agree with you. I find it admirable. And there are a good amount of people that this guy did all he did for 24 years, and I'm sticking with him. I find that loyalty admirable, and we've had a handful of callers like that during the last few weeks of the show. We've had a couple today.
Yep.
I think there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, and there are some what I would call normal people who just, watch football and don't make it their life's work to talk about it and argue about it and things like that.
Boy.
Bill Burr is among them, another Canton guy.
Yeah.
Bill Burr is like, people are nuts. It's like an invent. Now, this is where he's wrong. He says it's an invention of like sports talk radio to talk about firing Bill.
Yeah.
Now,
So-
that is.
Yeah, and
that's wrong.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was talking to someone about this week. That to me is different than the fans who are living and dying with every play and watching every game, and we're doing primetime game, post-game shows that are like, in the middle of the night somewhere and people are chiming in to vent. Those people are understanding everything that's going on with the football team.
Right.
All due respect to Bill Burr, who I'm sure is a Patriots fan, is not living and dying with every personnel move. No. Okay? Those guys can't understand why we'd even be talking about this because they haven't seen the absolute collapse of the foundation that's been going on for 5 years.
Yep.
This goes back to Brady's last years. And that's why, like, you go on the Talking Heads on ESPN, like the Orlovskis of the world who are like grinding tape and watching everything sort of say there's some things that are broken. Whereas like the Stephen A. Smiths are like, what are you talking about? Why would you even be thinking about getting rid of this guy? Because they're not paying attention. Nope.
Well, one of the things I think you could point to, and I pushed back on this, I don't know, a week or two ago when Burt Breer brought it up about how Bill is still, as an X's and O's guy, as a game plan guy, still among the very best. And in that Callahan article, I think it was mentioned how guys will say, like, in a meeting, he will say what a team is going to do, and then sure enough, they go out there and do it, but we just don't do what we're supposed to do, and it's amazing. And my pushback was this. It's like, I've been watching this team all year. Is it fair to, like, maybe just raise your hand and say, I don't know if he's a great X's and O's game plan coach anymore just based on the actual results of the game? Like, no. I'm willing to concede that now because enough people say it and enough people believe it to where
I'm with you.
I think there is I'll just grant you that. Yes, in terms of putting together a game plan based on the opponent, fine. He's still the best in the world. How important is that?
Well, maybe that's the better argument then.
Okay, so you know what the other team is going to do. Can you coach your team to not fall into those traps?
That was even part of the
counter
Callahan story. Like that whole thing, like at the end when the guy has the thing, like he tells us what the other team's going to effing do, and then we go out there and we can't effing do it.
Right. So that is one part of what it means to be a head coach. It's managing the players. It's coaching them in a certain way. It's hiring the staff and all these things. Forget about personnel. Forget about draft day. There are 20 other things that you have to do in addition to coming up with the game plan that I think you could argue or not even argue. It's just fact that Bill's not great at and hasn't been for a few years. So wonderful. He knew exactly what was going to happen on that 3rd and 6 against the Steelers. Great. There's more to the job than that.
Right. Well, then it's acquiring players that can execute what you're telling them to do, and that's
acquiring
what it
the
points
players,
it back
coaching
to.
the players
Right.
to do it, getting the players to go along with you.
The coaching part, to me, I think does not get enough attention. I think everybody is like, well, yeah, they've really struggled. You don't get Mike on the draft. Like we could really derail the rest of the show if we get Mike on the draft.
Swing and a miss.
The draft missteps. That's huge, and that's the biggest reason why they're where they are, is the personnel has dropped. But I think that you could make strong arguments that Bill the coach has not been as good as Bill the coach has been in the past.
Okay.
Like just the, and I'm not talking specifically about game plans or X's or whatever. Just, I'm going to go for this 4th down. I'm not going to go for that 4th down. I think that we need to run the ball here in a situation. I'm not going to even try to score at the end of a half. I'm not going to try to double up and get an extra possession, like that kind of stuff. There's a lot of things that go into coaching that are beyond just the X's and O's, which I agree with most people. He is the best. He's the best. X's and O's.
One of the things that you said, Paul, that I give you credit every time. I've been using it for a week now. I thought was brilliant.
This isn't good.
No, it was such a wonderfully like Paul Perillo common sense observation that I've utilized as this team continues to fight and they're in close games and it's like the players still play for them. And Paul said, well, name me a team that has quit. Right, this year, last year, whatever. And you're like, huh.
We had Antoine in, and I asked him that. He's like, no. They're out there, especially defensively. They compete. They just turn the ball over constantly because they don't have good players on offense.
And most players do continue to play. Are they playing for the coach? Well, they might be playing for their next contract.
Right.
They might be playing just because it's in their competitive nature. But it's quite the anomaly when a team just flat out quits on the coach, like universally across the board.
The Chargers, like Thursday night game, they just decided, I can't play for this guy anymore, and we're going to figure out a way to get rid of him. We're going to give up 63 tonight.
But after that?
After that, they just played regular games again, just like they have been all along.
But it was like a game. And to say that, they're still playing for Bill, I think it's a bit of a it's kind of a hollow accolade
I think
to
like,
give to a coach.
Like the Thursday night game, and I was actually in a pissing match before this show started today with one of my buddies, who was telling me how badly the Jets are going to roll over today, and they might. I don't know. Maybe they will. Maybe they would. Maybe they're just determined to lose today. The Jets. They certainly. I mean, I think the Patriots are going to win this game because I think. I'm sorry, we're not at the end of the show yet, but I think they have the whole Bill thing, the Slater thing, the snow. Like I just think everything is favoring the Patriots, and I think they're going to want to go out that way. I push back on the whole. The other teams are quitting and the Patriots aren't, because like that Thursday night game, the last game the Jets played was in Cleveland. And what happened? They came out and they turned the ball over 1,000,000 times. They fell behind by 1,000,000 points. They ended up coming back a little bit. Now, they never got back into the game like where they could win it or get really competitive, but the effort was still there.
Yeah.
And that's like an example of they tanked it. They packed it in.
Yeah.
The Patriots turned the ball over 4 times in the first 18 minutes of the game. That wasn't because they weren't trying. That was just because they're not very good. Like, how do we determine these things? Now, I don't think the Patriots were tanking. I don't think the Patriots packed it in against Buffalo. I think they're just not very good. That's why they turned it over 4 times.
Yeah.
I don't think it's because they weren't. Do you guys think it's because it was a lack of effort?
No.
But I don't know how we determine the Jets' turnovers, 32 of them, by the way, were because of a lack of effort. The Patriots' turnovers, which is like 27, not a lack of effort, just not very good. Like, why?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Because you're a fan of one and not the other.
Exactly.
Yeah. I kind of feel like Trent Brown. Maybe I don't think he's playing hard for the team.
You think maybe Trent Brown and like when Washington?
Now, why do you say that?
Like when Washington has players that decide they're not playing, right? What's the difference between that and like Hunter Henry going on IR in Week 18? Like, and I don't think Hunter Henry's ducking it. I think if he could play today, he'd be out there.
Yeah.
But like
Pepper's out there.
But and there he is right on the screen. He could easily have taken today off. Like I don't think these guys. I don't think guys just quit anywhere near as often as most fans think that they do. I think these guys are out there. Jeez, I don't know if this is going to be Slater's last game or not.
He just
the refs are getting out of us.
He's making hands with the ref.
He's making out with the ref.
And there's another guy, David Andrews, is also in that graphic today with the alongside Slater. I wonder if this is his last game too.
If it is, he's going to be totally lost in the wash of Slater and maybe Bill, and
which is a shame.
And it was also Matthew. Yeah.
All right,
go ahead.
Oh, and by the way, one final thing on this whole competitiveness and still playing hard and all the one-score games. That was another thing you brought up last week, Paul. It's like most of these games are one-score games. And a lot of these teams, as we saw the Patriots do for years, don't try and run up the score because you don't have to. And the games can become a 1 or 2 score game just because the opponent stops trying on offense because they don't need to score more. But
yeah, I think I looked it up at one point, and I think 7 out of the 8 one-score losses by the Patriots scored last in.
Yeah.
Something. Okay. But I'd have to go back and look at that and make sure. But
so I want to run this by Marine Matt, but here's what I would like to do.
Is that James White right there?
Wow.
Sweet feet. Pan up.
We're going to talk to Kevin and Kendall, and then we're going to do the over-unders. You like that, Matt? Let's do it. We'll start with Kendall in North Carolina. Kendall, what do you got for us?
What's going on, guys? What's going on?
Hey.
Thank you. Got a quick question. If Bill does come back, how does Stroud present that in a letter to the fans? Like, how do you think that would come out? And then number 2, the second part of it is, do you think the longer that it goes on without a decision or whatever, you think that probably looks good for Belichick? Thank you.
Maybe. I mean, I mean, they moved quick on that letter last year, but I think they painted themselves into a little bit of a corner. It's hard to think about if they retain Bill what the talking points are of why, outside of we're going to completely remake the offensive side of the ball again. That's the best I could kind of come up with.
Yeah, I don't know what that. I don't know how that that letter would read. I don't know how it would be delivered. I would not be surprised if there were no letter this year, because the letter was under such scrutiny last year that maybe they just go without a letter this year.
It's like a John Deere letter.
John Deere? You mean Dear John?
It's a Dumb and Dumber joke.
Oh, okay. Oh. You know, I've never seen that movie in its entirety.
Well, we found one, Hardy. It took to the last show. We found a movie you haven't seen.
I've not seen Dumb and Dumber. I've seen probably.
I'll cut the studio on this, man.
Okay, I'm
right
sorry.
out of nowhere,
I'm
she
sorry.
sends me a John Deere letter.
It's nasty out there, man. This is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to this
We're
game
not going to be
now.
able to see anything from the press box.
Well, I never can anyway. You guys have to tell me what happened.
Not from that press box. You can't
Hoff.
see much. All right, Kevin in San Francisco, before we do the over-unders, what do you got?
Hey, guys, real quick. One of the other callers had called up and said has 3 wishes for 2024. I'll give you my 3 quick, and then I'll hang up. Number 1, Hardy has to come back for next year. Top priority. Number 2, I hope not only the Patriots lose today, I hope they get embarrassed.
Oh.
And number 3, I hope they hand Bill a cardboard box before he gets to his office.
Oh, that really took a turn.
Good luck today.
Wow. All right, thanks, Kevin.
You know what kind of resonated with me was just the from the Rappaport thing of talking about Pat Bowlen back with the Broncos, saying I want my team back, and that kind of resonated with me of just everything that goes with this organization here. I can see the Crafts just saying we want our team back.
Whoa, that was kind of profound, Deuce.
Thank you. I felt it.
I'm not familiar with the Pat Bowlen quote. You have to talk to me.
Well, he
about
was.
that a little bit.
I think he was saying when it came time to move on from Mike Shanahan, and had a coach there for a while who's kind of become the personality of the team, and the owner gets ready to take their team back.
We even had a false start in warm-ups.
Oh, jeez.
Is there somebody here within the organization that is known as the Angel of Death? The person that does walk around with you with the red folder and the cardboard box. Is there like one person, if you see them walking through the cubicles, you're like, oh no?
No.
Okay.
But I know what you're talking about.
Okay. Well.
Yeah, we got Tom Brady weighing in on IG for Slater too. Love you, Slate. So proud of you. So yeah, he's watching.
It's kind of condescending.
Yeah.
So proud of you.
I don't know if you're being serious, but I thought the same thing.
No, what are you? You're proud of me?
For a
I play,
special
but
I'm a player just like
I'm
you
a
are.
teammate. Yeah. Why are you proud of me?
Right, I'm really proud of you.
Yeah.
Proud of you, Hardy, for that new job. I'm proud of you.
Well.
You did it.
Milliken said that he was proud of me once. I said, "Shut up, Milliken."
Wow. Wow. On both ends. Little aggressive on your part, but can't believe he would say it to you.
Do you think Bill's going to wear the Slater sweatshirt? Or I think I'm kind of interested. What's Bill going to wear today?
I kind of do.
Oh, for once you're interested in what Bill's
Like
going to wear
so,
today?
quote, I'm kind of interested in what Bill's wearing today.
What if he comes out in like a hoodie from the like the original hoodie, like them? I don't know. I'll read way too much into it.
I know it's about the clock more than anything, but can we do the over/under so I feel like this show
Yeah.
will come to an end?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's time for this week's edition of Over-Unders.
You're over me? When were you under me?
Matt, what happened last week? Where are we on the season? One more game.
Paul and Hardy 3-3, Mike 2-4. Season totals: Mike 48-4. Oh, hold on, let me do this right here. Paul 51-45, Mike 48-48, Hardy 47-49.
Ooh, right down to the end, me and you, Hardy.
Yeah, I mean it's a battle for a second. There's no way Paul gives it up here in the one game with a 3-game lead here, but it's battle for second place. I'm fine with that.
Challenge accepted.
Total first half points for the Patriots: 7.5.
Wow, that's a good number.
That's a good number, and I'm going to go under because it looks like it's snowing a lot. Thank you.
I'm taking the over.
Paul, positive Paul.
I think there'll be some defensive points on the board.
There you go.
Okay, well, I do believe this is a battle for second, so I will go opposite Deuce's pick. Go with Paul. I will take the over.
Touche.
Total first half points for the Jets: 6.5.
I'll take the under on that.
Even DraftKings gave up on this game.
I'm your Huckleberry. Go
Okay,
ahead.
hold on
Let's
a second.
Let's do it. No, let's do it.
It's like rock,
Whatever
paper,
you-
scissors.
Whatever you take, I'll take the opposite. Whatever you got. Whatever
really?
You got. Yeah.
Come on.
I'm going under.
Give me that over, baby. Can feel
Total,
it.
total touchdowns, 2.5.
I will go over on 2.5 touchdowns.
I'm going to go over as well.
No, well, it's not your turn, is it?
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm under.
What is he doing over there? He's not taking this very seriously.
I'm going for
He's
it.
making a mockery of it.
Yeah, he is.
No, I'm
He's
going for it.
I mean, I did it. It's one thing to do it like once.
No, it's Wicked Snowy Guy.
But it's some.
You don't know what's going to happen.
You guys are both under on this?
No, I'm over.
Okay.
Over me?
I think you. When were you under me?
Third quarter points total, 6.5.
That's just points in the third quarter?
Correct.
I
Both
think.
teams.
Oh, I think the snow's going to be miserable by that point. I'm going to go under. Cold, chilly.
I'll take the under on that one, too. By that time, the teams will have settled into, say, let's just get out of here.
Right.
Let's run the ball.
Really starts to get cold out there.
They'll ask Ben Dreith to just keep the clock running.
Who?
Over.
Hardy returns as host, half.
Next year?
Yep.
Oh, geez. How are we ever to know this?
Well, if he's back.
So you mean how many times he returns as the host?
No,
Well,
is Hardy coming back as the host next
yes.
year?
So
Let's
this
take
is
our bets on it.
This is a yes or no answer.
Correct.
Right?
I just put it as a half.
Okay, so I'm going to say no.
No.
Oh, look at Mr. Kraft with his Slater
There you go.
shirt.
I don't understand how we determine this after the game.
No, we can't.
It won't be determined until you return.
So maybe if there's a tiebreaker, we'll have to wait till.
So you're saying there's a
summer.
chance?
Well, yeah, I'll come back for a game. I'll go over. What'd you guys do?
I'm gonna say no.
So under. Paul?
I said no.
Okay.
Total score, 30.5.
Yeah, I'm going to go over on this.
That's an under for me, please.
That's an under for me, too.
All right.
But very slightly.
Yeah. Could be interesting. We could have interestinger and interestinger. Very good. Emails here. We have Lyndon, previously of Colton, California. Been a while since I've written. Been a loyal listener for 15 years. Today will be my boys, Ethan and Micah's first football game. We're here to celebrate Micah's 8th birthday.
Oh, boy.
Despite the crummy weather, the boys are super pumped to be here. We're hoping Slater and Bill Belichick get an appropriate send-off and blow out the Jets. There's no chance they do any kind of video anything for Bill today, but do you expect one for Slater?
I don't know. That's a good question. I really have no idea, but maybe.
Yeah, I sort of do, yeah. And I do not have the information on it.
Okay.
No, I don't.
I would tell you.
You guys should ask things when you're here during the week and find things out about the team and the game and the game ops.
Nah.
Are you good? That's a look you're giving me now. No. Now you're giving me a look.
Sounds like work.
Nope. Nope. I'm lookless.
Stephen Conway. I had another wonder about the possibility of Coach Belichick moving on and what it will look like. Do you think his son's fate will figure in at all? For example, heard someone speculating that Gerard gets elevated to head coach and Bill O'Brien stays as OC. Does Bill then say, I'll make this easier on the organization if Steve gets the DC job?
No, I'd expect if Bill went somewhere that he would probably take Steve with him.
At some point, Steve's going to have to go work somewhere without Bill.
Yeah.
If he wants to really do this.
And I do think that might be better for him if Bill were to say, yeah, like, Steve, you can get a job somewhere. Go somewhere and find a job. But
spread your wings.
I don't think it's completely out of the realm of possibility that the emailer's, scenario unfolds, and I think Mayo and Steve Belichick get along pretty well.
Yeah.
So I don't think it'd be the dumbest thing to have them stay together.
Mark in Somerset, New Jersey. Still want to see Bill O'Brien as offensive coordinator with a restructured staff around him, a long shot, but I will accept new head coach and regime as well. Yeah, I'm sure Bill O'Brien would like to have some say in who his coaches are next season, too.
That would be fun.
Wow. Are we getting custom hoodies for Hardy's last show, too? That's from Jackson.
Oh, that would have been good.
I love a hoodie. I do love a hoodie.
I think Fred's on it. You've been reading the emails. I mean, the texts.
I did.
You guys having private conversations?
Boss man Fred Kirsch. He says, I'm wearing a hoodie that says Hardy, husband, father, host, talks about music, and everybody loves a donut. So thank you for that.
Good, Fred.
Thank you for that. All right, wait, before we get to the six-pack, a couple more emails here. Hardy, Deuce, Tamara, and Paul, thank you for all you've been doing this season. Hardy, I love the sass. Please come back. And now, Deuce, what are you thinking by saying, maybe I can see the second-round pick for defense? Goodness, no. We need so much on offense. Offensive tackle, quarterback, guard, receiver, running back, tight end. It is a shorter list to lay out than what we don't need. Please don't talk like that.
I'm sorry. No, you're right.
That's
you're
from
right.
Gretchen.
You're right. I misspoke a little bit. But, generally I would just say those first 2 days got to go to offense. And the only possible exception, in the third round maybe. I agree with you on the second round. But that's the only thing I could possibly see being a defensive need is if you got a real stud pass rusher.
Yeah, ideally, you're using all the picks on offense. But Mike is right. You have to have an open mind when the picks come around. You can't just say, nope. This guy is, rated to be 30 picks higher than that guy, but that guy plays defense, so I can't take him. You can't do that.
Barmore, you can point to all the misses that they had, over the last couple of years. But, Barmore was one where, not totally on everybody's radar, but a really good player who fell through the cracks that they went up and got. It's paying off for him now.
Jake in Australia needs some Dunkin. This 4 a.m. wake up is rough.
Oof.
Don't I know.
And it's summer there, too. It must be weird seeing the snow.
Yep.
He's a funny
guy. Matt in Oregon. The rebuild does not start until Bill leaves. He may be the GOAT, but his time has passed. Hardy, we're going to miss you. Come on. Can we get one more crusty laugh? I can't.
The ribs preventing that?
I don't know. I haven't tried it.
Oh.
I haven't done it in a while.
Maybe we can save that for hour 3 of the postgame show.
It's the joke that just keeps on going.
Sorry, kids. Time to do the Sunday six-pack. This is the Sunday six-pack, so kick back and listen to my position. I'm itching to get the picks back. You better bring a big stack. Get it mixed, Jack. I came to win it, yeah, this is the Sunday six-pack.
I'm glad to see my numbers matched up with Matt's numbers and everything is right. I actually went through, which I normally don't, and checked the games last week. And, Matt, tell us what happened.
Oh, it's a good thing Paulie checked my stuff before you got here. Everybody went 4-2.
He had you and I going 2-4.
Did he really?
He did.
How can you not do this?
I don't know. I don't know.
What is it? What?
I get the numbers confused.
Numbers are hard.
They're very hard for me.
The only way he ever gets them all right is when we all pick the same way.
And then he has us all wrong.
I try my best.
All right.
Well, all right. Everybody went 4-2 last week, bringing the season totals to Mike 49, 36, and 5. Hardy 47, 38, and 5. Paul 40, 45, and 5.
All right, so this is not a battle for a second. This is I'm taking a run
big.
at it.
I'm going to play the role of spoiler.
I'm taking a run at it, and I have a system. I'm not betting against you necessarily, Mike. I have a system for Week 18 games in the NFL. So you go first. Lead us off, Matt. What is the first game we're picking today?
1 p.m. The 7-9 Minnesota Vikings at the 11-5 Detroit Lions. Detroit minus 3.5.
I am going to take Hardy's Lions minus 3.5, please.
I hate doing it, but love the underdog in certain games and matchups, so I will take the Vikings today.
Yeah, I'm taking the Vikings too, just because I don't know if Detroit is really going to play hard. I know they say they are, but I don't know. I think they got to rest some dudes.
The 7-9 Atlanta Falcons at the 8-8 New Orleans Saints. New Orleans minus 3.
Now, can we go back? Should I go first? Yeah. Go back to the normal order?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's okay. That's all right. I'll allow it.
Thank you.
Mike went for... Did I go second that time?
Yeah, and I thought you guys were doing it.
We scolded him.
Sorry.
No.
I screwed it up.
You didn't. I just thought you guys were doing that for your little mono.
No. We're doing
if we had the little symbols at the bottom, I would be X eliminated from playoffs.
There you go.
I could go 6-0, and you guys could go 0-6, and I'd still.
You're still playing hard for yourself, though, Paul.
But I'm playing the string out. I'll take the Saints. New Orleans.
I am taking the Atlanta Falcons getting 3 points in New Orleans.
Ooh, yeah.
Who'd you take?
I can't play on this one. I'm gonna take the Falcons too.
You both took the Falcons?
Yeah, that's right.
You wonder why I can't do this right.
Well, if you write down the answers
Just
as
so
we
you know,
go,
that doesn't have anything to do with why you can't do it right.
4 p.m. games. The 9-7 Los Angeles Rams at the 12-4 San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco -4.
I am up first, huh?
Correct.
I will take the Rams on the road. I will take the 4 points.
I will go with the 49ers on this one.
Nice.
Mike is right. 49ers.
The 11-5 Philadelphia Eagles at the 5-11 New York Giants. Philly -5.
Oh boy, I'm back up. I'm gonna take Philly -5.
I am going to take the Giants to cover. I just don't like what I've seen from Philadelphia, and I can't lay 5 points with them. I think they'll win, but I'll take the Giants.
I, too, am taking the Giants. There's a pattern developing if you've been following along at home with my picks today. So Paul and I are on the Giants.
So when you went first, did you have to sort of try to guess which way he was going to go?
No, I have a...
He's got a system.
I have a
He's
system.
still not even paying
but
attention.
it's a very good system. It's like the garlic. It's a very good system. It like liquefies in the pan.
Sunday Night Football. The 10-6 Buffalo Bills at the 11-5 Miami Dolphins. Buffalo -3.
Paul, that's you?
Yeah, I will take the Bills, but I don't feel great about it. I just feel like Miami's more banged up. Buffalo's not playing well. They didn't play well the last two games, but Miami's missing a lot of key personnel.
They are, and I think it's... I hate doing this. I really hate doing this. But I got to stick to my system. I hate this as much as I did picking the Vikings. I'm taking the Dolphins.
Yeah, I'm on the Bills with Paul. I got to stick with what I've been saying all week.
The 6-10 New York Jets at the 4-12 New England Patriots. New England -1.5.
This is a real outlier for these games today. Yeah, I think the Patriots are going to just do a little bit to undo themselves a little bit. I think Bill is obviously coaching with a lot to coach for today.
They're playing hard.
And they're playing hard for him. Good point, Paul. You know, you don't see that anywhere else. I will take the Patriots +1.5.
Yeah, I'm on the Patriots too.
And they're going to win 11-8.
For the actual pick, which means they are -1.5, not +1.5.
I'll lay the 1.5. They're winning by 3.
Yeah,
11-8 is the final.
I'm going to take the Patriots too. Just hard to see them losing, even if it's just Slater. That it's his last game. I got the Patriots 17-14.
Yeah, I will make it unanimous. I feel like there will be a slew of Jets turnovers in this game, which obviously means they quit. So I'm going to say 20-9. A lot of field goals in this one. Although with all the snow, the field goals might be difficult. But 20-9.
Actually, I had the over and all that. I got to root for more points than I'll keep it 11-8.
It's not
11-8. What is your score prediction?
20-9.
9. My professional life is like at a 9.
Yes.
My personal life is at what did Papa Booey say? A 6.
Papa Booey.
Yeah, Papa Booey. All right, final thoughts leading into today's contest, gentlemen.
Oh, boy.
You guys don't have to walk on the concourse at all, do you?
No.
You never go outside. Oh, well, just
ish to the elevator.
On the way to the elevator, but that's it. It's slick out there. I want everyone to be careful.
Yeah.
That's number one.
Just want to take it all in and, hope for a good last game. Hopefully a nice send-off for Matthew Slater, I guess, right? I don't know. Whatever.
What would constitute a...
he recovers a muff fumble, punt return in the end zone, and the crowd just goes crazy.
Right.
Something like that. Like a big play for Matthew Slater. Just a nice send-off for him.
That'd be
drop kick.
That'd be fun.
There you go.
He's gonna do a drop kick.
Something like that.
Wouldn't that be something,
huh? Historic. I saw Jackie's here. Jackie Slater. So, yeah. Read between the lines.
Just apropos of nothing, I spoke with someone earlier. I won't say when or where, but someone who had some interesting knowledge on the Jack Jones front earlier this year.
Hey, you're just saving this for the last minute of the show.
His last 2 minutes ever of pregame show magic.
I don't know if this is common knowledge or not, but during the actual, figuring out of what was going to happen to him legally after the guns at the airport, I said, come on. He knew what he was doing, though. And he said, absolutely not. Apparently the surveillance footage, they look at all this stuff. It's like, how did he come to the airport? It's like, yeah,
got
everything
my
good.
guns and I'm going on a trip.
Right. And didn't they universally across the board believe he had no idea those guns were in there, and broke down when they found them in the bag.
Yeah.
Like it was.
I done messed up now.
Yeah, seriously. He said it's never been more obvious to him about one of these cases, and also for everyone who was in an uproar about it, he goes, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
I don't like to talk
Keep
about
track
it.
of your guns.
All the time.
I believe that. What I don't know and haven't really had anybody tell me is, do they always just get off with nothing?
Oh, yes, a lot of the
'Cause
time.
I know some people who haven't.
Well, do you hire an attorney at all? Do you just take what's given to you? Yeah. But I think for the people who do, present some kind of a defense, it is not uncommon to get off with, a probation, or he said, because it happens all the time.
And on that note,
well,
it's been a great year.
How many years?
On the
5? How many
5.
years?
Oh, I don't know. How long you been doing it? How long you been doing it?
Yeah, this is my 5th.
Oh my
So
God.
6?
6.
Because you did it with Andy one year, right?
Yeah.
So
6 years? Is that right?
6 years of your life. You never get
yeah.
back.
So 18 Super Bowl year. So you have that in common with all the rest of us.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, dude.
Not all of us.
Sorry, dudes. All right.
Except for Mike.
Final score for the final time. Oh no,
No,
that's for the
that's a
post game show.
You're
That's
not done
not.
yet.
That's
You're
not
not off
until.
yet.
That's not until about 8 tonight.
It's the joke that keeps on giving. We'll talk to you in the post game. Thank you.
Thank you for downloading this podcast. Subscribe on Apple, Google Play, and everywhere else you listen. Like the show? Please rate and review us. Listener comments and ratings help keep us high in the podcast rankings so new listeners can find us. Be sure to check patriots.com for more news and more podcasts.